Bought my hex from the fucking start. .1 every day we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is moving. Looking at why they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out and they'll get me a check. He's gas up and got me a mess. Remember the times they dial collect. Hex I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
What's up? I don't know if you guys can hear me, but how is it going? You're muted, brother. You are muted. So let's get some gains. Let's fucking go here in the comments.
Guys, you think this is a joke? That's where you are mistaken. Let's remove the video.
Siren, what's good? Bullish, how you doing? Bradley, everybody in the comments, thank you so much. We had 16 likes before we even got started.
So guys, let's talk about YouTube then, because this is what I do to make my YouTube channel better. Maybe someone else could use this information. The best time to set a scheduled time video for your video to get maximum engagement is 4 days before. 4 days before you schedule a live stream, that is the maximum like ROI as far as like actually getting in front of people, how many eyes will see it before it actually starts. YouTube live videos start long before the live, guys. Long before the live, believe it or not. It seems like it's just right in front of your face, right? But I'm learning this as I go, so it's kind of like I'm just reporting it. My channel has grown 500 subs in 21 days. That's more than any channel as far as like the bigger ones that already have the average subs, like the $10,000, the 10,000, 5,000. Only because I'm spamming the piss out of it and nobody knows what it is yet. But guys, listen, I could easily have 75 subs right now. Same content.
Well, if you're not proud of what you're doing, you're not going to talk about it. And you're enjoying what you're doing. You're learning. You're talking to awesome people, and we're interacting with some beautiful comments and people over here, and it's awesome. That's why, because you're excited about it and you're willing to talk about it. Most people are not as excited about life and whatever it is that they're working on, that they're not willing to talk about it to a lot of people, and that's why they don't get 500.
Well, people are under the impression that other people are smarter than them, which is just stupid to think. It's silly, guys. There's no such thing as smart. Everything is user friendly. I'm not saying like Richard Hart's not smart because he makes all the, but as far as like doing what you love, guys, you don't need to be smart. You're welcome. You just have to click the right buttons. That's all it is, guys. Everyone does this for you. This is capitalism. People do all the things for you in capitalism, right? They put everything in front of you so you can spend your money the easiest. All these you don't need anything but a cell phone to be a full-time content creator with 1 million subs. You don't. So you suck balls at life. If you wanted, is that something you wanted to do? I'm saying, like, if you never have tried that, you say, I don't have the equipment.
Do you want to suck balls? You can let us know in the comments.
All right, guys, let me talk to the chat real quick. Then I'm going to let Sam go for a second so we can talk about what's going on today, questions that he has. Flat Earth Underground. Come on. Flat Earthers all day long, I guess. I don't know much about Flat Earth, but I'll flex it to that. Crypto Roof Pump. What a great name. Hex for my kids. Hex Tangent. Hex Tangent's been streaming. Hey, if you want to come on after an hour and a half, you're free to come on. Hex Papa, how's everyone doing? Bullish, I'm talking to Bullish for like 4 hours a day now. I'm milking this dude for everything he's worth as far as information. Like
he's worth a lot. He's got some really valuable, good shit.
How much information these guys have. And we don't want to talk about anyone in particular, Sam. Remember, everyone likes to be nice and not talked about in this community, just like in passerby, but that's a good guy to fucking talk to in the Twitter spaces. He's awesome. Guys, everyone, thank you so much. Bradley Lincoln, LFG, bullish. We're bullish on Hex and Pulse Chain. We're bullish on Hex and Pulse Chain. Stakes and apes. Bradley Lincoln, Hex Siren, how are you doing? Hex Siren, I'm so sorry I've been crazy lately. Sam, I've been crazy lately.
Nah, bro, we're all crazy. The crazy ones.
No, dude, but like my emotional energy has been drained, so I've been like actually crazy.
Yes. Well, we could talk about what we were texting about last night. But
Stakes and Apes. Stakes and Apes got me 50 subs by himself yesterday with one tweet.
Awesome. Thank you.
Without me asking him to do anything.
Thank you. I saw the NFT that he put together.
It's a free NFT. Anyone wants that free NFT, send your Ether address to Stakes and Apes on that tweet. He'll send you a free Jim Rat Crypto NFT original.
There's a couple new people too, I think, in the comments here. Par Hexcellence. He says, "What's up? What's up?"
He's not necessarily new to the stream, but he doesn't. But I definitely have seen him on. But he's awesome guy, absolute HEXICAN. And who's this? Chad Thundercock, Donner Schwans. Guess who's back? Chad is back. What's up, my guys? Chad is absolutely positive, 24/7. It smells like testosterone from that username. I don't know what it is. It's Donner Schwans. HEXICAN Papa, Hex for my kids, Bradley Lincoln, bullish. Sam, what the fuck is up, dude? How are you doing?
I want to read Brad's comment, and then I want to tell you exactly how I'm doing. So Brad Lincoln goes on to say, "I like the show because you guys talk like you're new, because you are. And I'm new, so I can relate." Fantastic. We're all new here in some fashion, but we're new in this crypto space. I'm newer than Jim Rat, but
no, you're not. You're not real. You are, but you're not, because the learning curve is so. It's like we're experts to some people. You're an expert to 99% of people.
It's crazy,
I'm an expert to 99% of people. There's a nuanced 5% of people online that think I'm a dumb fucking idiot. Those are only like elite level trading, staking all in HEXICANs, because they're right.
Yep.
Compared to them, I am a dumb fuck. I didn't know that, but guess what? Now I come out with them with questions about inflation and stuff that I learned from digging into Wendy's so hard and everything. And
Wendy's had some gold nuggets yesterday. Oh, that was good. Wendy's been in the game for a while. Like,
dude, Wendy,
you can tell.
This dude's been helping me behind the scenes for no reason since I had 1,000 followers, just because I was asking questions.
Because he's awesome.
He's awesome, dude. I'm telling you, he's awesome. And he'll call me out. He'll call anyone out on shit. Like, he doesn't care because he's just straight up. Because I'm not saying he's not like an egomaniac a little bit, like every guy, a little bit in their own way. But like in general, like he understands that the best thing to do is be helpful and nice and honest.
That's how the more successful people you talk to, like at least I talk to, I'm sure you feel the same way. It's the media tells you that the successful people, the wealthy people, the powerful people are dicks. They just want to hurt people. They want to take advantage of people. And the more successful people you talk to and interact with in business and life and whatever their thing is, you realize that like everybody, for the most part, is good and they want to help each other. Like you reach out. I reached out to my buddy this morning. Hey, my conversion rate on one of my websites is like very, very low relative to the industry average. Hey man, how much can I pay you to just take a look at my site and just tell me what I can improve on it? He's like, hey man, I'll do that for free. Give me a couple days. I'm happy to help you out. Like the people who are successful are just willing to help other people. And I'm not saying like I'm willing to pay people, but like there's just so many awesome people out there who are happy to share their knowledge and their experience, because in a way, when I get those messages, it's like, hey, you said this and I started to get my shit together and I just wanted to let you know, or hey, I watch your content and I get a lot of value from it. And when I get those messages, that is valuable to me. Like I get tremendous amount of value from that. Nikki B asks, when can you turn on super chats? I think that's when you get over 1,000 subscribers. And
4,000 hours watch time. If anyone wants to donate, there is an address at bottom. I'm probably just going to use it for giveaways, to be honest. So if you send anything to that, I'm just going to do like a hype ass stream and give it away. In the beginning, once I get to super chats and stuff, I'll think about a different game plan. But right now, I want to grow my channel more than anything.
let's talk about your dope background, bro. What's
so
good?
I have a pull-up green screen that I never used, but now that OpSec's a thing, I've been trying to like think about, because Sam, what changes because I have this green screen? What changes? What changes about the information you have about me? You don't know where I am.
Correct.
I could be at my girl's house. I could be at my brother's house. I could be at my family's house. I could be at your house. But if they know that I stream at 11 a.m. every day, and I'm probably gonna move anyway at some point, so it's just like simple stuff like that. But then you can do cool ass effects and stuff, so it's cool.
Yeah, no, that's dope. It's making me like, hey, you guys would probably prefer to see something other than my office, like.
Guess what? It's just a pull-up thing, so it's very small. It's like this. It's kind of heavy, but it's like long, and you just shoots right up. You could fold it right back down, put it underneath.
And then you do it all in StreamYard, or
just 2 clicks.
Dope. And you create this. You create
any
this
picture
design?
online.
Oh, that's dope. Awesome. Who?
See this? You have to open up your mind to this stuff, Sam, because it goes deeper and deeper. If you want to be excellent at everything live streaming and everything, there's 1.5 million things you can do. And it's like it just keeps going. That you can actually not learn faster than they come out with shit. So technically, you always have to be learning, because there's more advancements in technology, streaming, YouTube updates, blah 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 blah, than there is days in the week. It's just like it's just every single day there's a new thing. As a content creator, your job is to keep up.
That's it's literally one of the reasons a couple years ago I was like, I love creating content, because one of the things that I utilize creating content for is what you're talking about. Creating content, I have to force myself to get better so that I'm sharing new valuable insights or points of view or learning new things that I can share with people, because like you mentioned, there's so much shit changing all the time and all over the world. So it's awesome. Crypto Games Club 369. Sam, shoot me a question. Test my might. Okay, Crypto Games Club. What?
He wants one of your legendary, open-ended, absolutely mind-bending questions that you ask all the Hexicans. Do you have any like overall questions that you've been pondering? Because I saw you had one on Twitter that was a little extensive. I didn't really know what you were asking.
So yes. So here's the thing.
I'll type it into the comments too.
PulseX, you can make money in 3 different ways. You can make money by holding PLSX. You can make money by providing an LP, right? Liquidity token. You got to provide the pair. You can also make money by the incentive token. Now, one of the things that I noticed when I was looking at the details is that the incentive token is managed by a DAO. A DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization. So it's just basically like a business kind of thing for governance that is decentralized so that people have voting rights. So you would think that like the people who benefit from that would be aligned. But in reality, PLSX votes on the DAO's pairs that get paid out to the incentive token and the percentage of it or something like that. But they don't actually directly benefit from it. So there's a separation between control and what happens. So to put it very simply, if I have control over GRC's something in his life, I can take that influence to benefit me and fuck him over. And that, I'm not saying that will happen, but there's the possibility for that to happen, right? The people who are managing the DAO is PLSX. PLSX controls
but you could say again, like you can always come back to semantics like this with anything. Really, if you really break it down, it's numbers on a screen and some dude can nuke it. That's everything.
What if just hypothetically speaking, like what if the PLSX decides to go, the voters in there decide to vote to only give incentive tokens to people who are putting something with PLSX?
Fuck, someone asked me an insightful question in the comments and I stopped listening. You just muted yourself. Audio. Can you hear me? I didn't hit anything. Here, let me remove you. It says your mic is not connected. Hold on. Now unmute yourself. Unmute yourself now. It says muted next to your name, and it won't let you unmute it. Can you leave? Get out of here, Sam. Hey guys, real quick, a couple of things. Please, if you have not already, Sam's just audio bugged out. Can you guys hear me? Okay, sounds like you can hear me. My pinned tweet, if you want to tweet it out, it's just like a description of today, just so maybe 1 or 2 or 3 more people can see it that haven't seen it already. Generally, most of the people are Hexicans, and it's totally cool. We're going to get into some crazy shit today. We're going to get into the test net at the top of the hour. That's 12. So 38 minutes from now, me and Sam are going to stop gabbing, and Hex to Learn is going to come on. Wendy's, if you want to come on, Tangent, if you want to come on, feel free, but we're going to be just talking about testnet, moving through testnet. Anything you guys want to do, say after an hour and a half, I'll invite everyone. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do like the first hour, and then I'm going to just invite everyone. So like me and Sam can do our pitch, and then the people that just want to watch like us two gab. But then like 90% of the people probably just want to watch Wendy's alpha dropping ball sacks on this. Literally, most of the people are comment on this, and they're just like, Wendy's alpha, blah. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, yes. We can hear you. Jim Rat, let me shoot you some Hex merch to wear. You must be freezing. A-Bit, dude, A-Bit. I've never had any Hex merch before. I have, guys, other than the shields that my friend made, I have no Hex clothes. I have no Hex merch. I will wear anything, and I will say, buy this Hex merch because I love Hex so much. Bleh! Hold on, I got to see where Sam is. I've been freaking out today, guys. I do not. Take your time. Hey, Wild SJ. How are you? Wild SJ. That's funny. Jim Rat, shoot me a DM. Fuck yes. Let me shoot you some. Oh, you must be freezing. Yeah, dude. If you shoot me some merch, if you shoot me some merch, I will be the happiest guy I've ever met. I don't have any merch, and I don't have any money. The pre-workout is real. I'm coming out with a pre-workout, by the way. Me and Sam are. Hold on. Let's see if yeah, Sam's shit's bugging out for some reason. So I'm just going to keep talking for a while. Guys, we're asking. So I'm live 11 a.m. every single day. And again, at the top of the hour, we're doing testnet and chill. Testnet and chill. Not Netflix and chill, but testnet and chill. Okay? Because your boy's bringing on Hex to Learn. One of my best friends, I think. He might not think he's my best friend, but he's my best friend. And he's going to do the testnet demo again. I've been messing with the testnet. I've been doing a lot of stuff. Is there any questions about anything in the community or anything in the Twitter spaces that has been interesting that I probably know about and can cover? Testnet and chill. Testnet and chill. Hey, guys, everyone retweet my tweet, and then on the top say testnet and chill. Let's make that a thing. Testnet and chill, even though it is in my thumbnail, so I already nailed that. And, guys, if you want, let me put my shirt on real quick. Again, I don't have any material for. Oh, when Pulse launch. Oh yeah, I want to call out A-Bit Hex real quick. A-Bit Hex. I've been hearing a lot about this guy, and he's on the other side of the world. It seems like, but I want to say thank you, A-Bit Hex. I don't know exactly specifically everything, but I see you in every picture, doing everything with everybody, all the merch, all the stickers, all the everything. You're putting in work 24/7. I want to learn more about you. I want to have you on my show, and I want to know who you are so I can identify you specifically and say, what's up, bro? Dude, A-Bit, I'm going to Miami this weekend. A-Bit, are we doing the same thing in Miami this weekend? Is that a thing? A-Bit, I need you to DM me. I'm freaking out right now. I'm so excited. Guys, we're going to Miami. We're going to Miami, guys. Hold on. Let me see what Sam said. Sorry. I'll also be in Miami. Whoa. Whoa. Wendy's, can you like pick me up somehow? Or I'm sure you're flying. I'm going to fly, I think. I might drive, though, if I give me a new car in time, because I do like driving, and I have been stressed out. Shit, you're making me want to fly down there. Bullish! I'm going to start driving to Miami right now. There's not a chance I'm not going to Miami this weekend. There's 0% chance, guys. Stream canceled Saturday, Sunday, Friday. Sorry, my show. No, I'll just do it. I'll just do it from whatever basement, HEXICAN's basement I'm sleeping in. I'm so excited. I'm so good. My life's never been so fun. Everything's so fun now. Why is everything so fun now? Everything was so boring for so long. So much boringness. Now everything's fun. Let's go, guys. I'm on another fucking level. Guys, oh shit, HEXICAN or do an IRL stream. Yeah, hey, A-Bit, if you don't have all your stuff, I will bring my whole streaming setup and make sure I can do a one-on-one interview with you for like 20-30 minutes, make it like really high quality, edit it out, and just be like, fuck yeah. Easy on the coffee. It's tea. Sorry. Woo. Look at my It's my first day with the green screen too. Yeah, I want to know more about I really want to know more about Avix. He seems like my kind of fella as far as a free thinker, a free spirit. Let me see what Sam's doing. I got to look at my phone to see if Sam's coming back. Hold on. Let me invite Sam again. Damn it, Sam. It's not working. A-Bit, I'm going to send you a link too, actually. Come in and say hi if you want. Sorry, guys. I didn't expect. Me and Sam had like a little shtick set up. And I didn't. So I'm going to start sending links. And you all know exactly who I'm sending them to. And you guys, nobody has to join unless they want to, of course. Don't worry about the joining. Only worry about the good times, the big boobs, the big gains. That's it, the big boobs and the big gains, like Big Pep always says. Green screen looks good, thanks. The HHD is awesome. I bet mine is stronger. Hey, Blackwing, thanks for joining. I don't think I've ever seen you in here. I think that's really awesome that you joined. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Guys, top of the hour, 36 minutes, I'm having Hex to learn on. We're going to go through the whole testnet demo. He's going to show us everything he knows about the nitty-gritty of the testnet. Oh, I'll send Stakes one. Stakes, if you come on, make sure your audio is good and that you're staying still. I have OCD and it fucks my head up. Seriously. I'm only going to let a couple of people in here because when I make clips, I have to have our faces a certain size. Guys, a lot has been going on this weekend, guys. Oh, this weekend's been crazy. My car got ran over at some point. My car got ran over at some point this week, so I haven't had a car. My car's gone. I have no car. My insurance is playing me for shit. So I got no car. So I got to wait for them to like total it and send me the money, which is like taking way longer than I thought. Anyway, and then, you know, Mile High Club. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's really frustrating because you can't back out of StreamYards or I feel like it'll kick me. But I'm trying to invite Sam back, guys. Sorry for the confusion. Who is that? Oh, God, Wendy's. Thank you.
What's up, bro?
So, bro, what the fuck? We're going to stay hush-hush about anything in Miami, though, but I think I'm going to Miami.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. And I love it. The first time I have been able to drive anywhere and do anything like where I can just chill for a minute.
Hell yeah.
Sick. How are you doing?
Good. I was flying all day today. So
Are you in?
a bit tired.
You were in an airplane all day?
Yep.
Nice moves, bro. Nice moves. How was it? Where'd you? Oh yeah, we don't talk about that stuff. As far as Hex,
No, I'll say I was in Philadelphia. Now I'm in Florida.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. How much was the ticket? Was it a normal plane?
Yeah.
Because I gotta buy one.
It's like $500 for me. Nothing crazy.
Look who we got here. Turn your phone sideways, Sam. Perfect.
What's up?
Whoa!
This is how I travel too, right? Like I'll hex everything.
Wendy's, turn your phone to the side. It fills out the whole screen. So you can see. Oh, perfect. Oh, hell yeah, guys. Are you going to stay like this, Wendy's? That's awesome. Cool. Dude, I need some of that.
A new shit.
Dude, I need some of that. Do you sell that shit or do you just buy it from that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need something so bad, and I will say.
Yeah, we can sponsor. You just DM me later and like pick out some stuff.
God, a new T-shirt that does not smell like ass would be like fucking absolute legendary status. Sam, how are you doing, brother? What happened to your computer? Can you hear me, Sam?
Yes. Now I can hear you. Perfect.
Set your phone up. And then it's just as good of a camera, actually. It's funny how iPhones, I'm assuming you both have iPhones.
Got some post-production too. Yeah.
Hex merch is like addicting if you're a HEXICAN. It's like, ugh.
Bro, I got so much other stuff on the way.
Dude, I need that.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Guys, so A-Bit, he's the first time A-Bit has come to the show, and I don't think you know him, Sam, but he's a HEXICAN that everyone loves.
What's up, A-Bit? Crypto Sparbuck.
Yeah, it's Crypto Sparbuck, but he doesn't know any of the HEXICANs. But
the guy's touring the country, spreading the good word of Hex and soon Pulse Chain.
Yeah, and I heard some stuff about your story, and it sounded fucking awesome. That PulseX shirt, I spotted that too. That was pretty.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I had to. You know, it's awesome because like so anytime I'm like traveling or really like going out in public, I always try to wear this kind of stuff because people always like come up and talk to you
from hearing you guys.
So,
I can hear you.
So like in Vegas, multiple times, you know, like I was ordering a drink or whatever, a bartender's like, "Hey, that icon, I've seen that before. What is that? Is that a crypto?" You know, and then you just get to start talking to them or whatever. And yeah, it's a cool way to break the ice and then get to talking about, you know, finance and everything. And you know, Pulse Chain has an awesome logo, and then and the PulseX logo, you know, it's really grown on me, but like it does stick out. Like, you know, you don't know what. So someone's gonna be like, "What is that? Is that like a porn site or something?"
It
like,
looks like something that something else would be called too. Like PulseX could look like any company, like, you know. Mm-hmm. So like
like exactly. So they're gonna be like, "What is that? Yeah, what is that?"
You could be like, "Oh, that's some airline or some shit." Like, you never fucking know. Like PulseX, it's a beautiful logo. Somebody really detailed, you know. The color schemes is perfect, and the test net, it's just beautiful to the eyeball. Just like the green and the black, something about that is just like extra pleasing to the eyes. The thing about the hex symbol is that it's super dope, and like nerdy, but like PulseX is almost like a beautiful brand name. It's just like
it is. It has really grown on me, and yeah. So it's going to be awesome to, for people to start asking about that. And like I said, I mean, like, honestly, I think that, that people will they'll just like really understand, like pulse chain and pulse X, like a little bit easier than Hex was, to understand. I mean, some people get it, but I think it is a little bit more difficult just from like the people that I've talked to, like my onboards, like they understood, like, now, do they really understand? I don't know, but they understood like pulse chain and pulse X more so than Hex, and they seem to be more excited for that. Take that for what you will.
Everyone's freaking out about pulse chain drop. Can you drop some actual knowledge on people for 1 second about like how some of these things work and like,
What do you mean?
Everyone, like, all I hear about is everyone saying like how long, and is this just what everyone does? Like I can imagine this happens in every scenario where you have to wait for anything for like a month or two, but everyone's just like, they're starting to be like, Richard's not transparent. Like, it's like, and I'm like, why does he have to be transparent? Why does he have to do anything? To
the person in the chat, I don't know if we have kid sizes, but we do have like, just go to the website. It's hexmerch.com. And I'm pretty sure we have like pretty small sizes, but we can get with you and see. I guess it depends on the size of your kid too. But yeah, as far as like, like it takes time, man. It like I said this before when I was on, like Hex took like over a year. I mean, and that's a DApp, right? Like, come on, it's gonna take time to do that. Like to build something so big, and there's constant changes on Ethereum, and they're changing the consensus a little bit. Like, it's going to take time. Everybody's in such a rush, but you remember, like what I was saying last time is like, if you're in this much of a rush, like I saw somebody post, I don't know if it was like Telegram or something, but someone said like yesterday, they're like, when can I sell my Pulse X, like, or my Pulse or whatever, like when airdrop so I can sell it. Like, are you joking? Like, it's literally like about to launch and you want to sell it already? Like, can you imagine that? So
that's the culture.
Like,
that's 90% of people. That's why no one makes money except like real Hexicans and people that are like aware. You have to be aware or you will lose.
Yeah. Marco, the Hexican, said send him a link.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. You just have to be patient, and I know it's very difficult for people to be patient, but it's something that'll, pay off like dividends in your, crypto investing future and stuff.
So somebody in the comments, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Somebody in the comments said, do not sell for 2 years. But if you think about selling PLS in 2 years, I mean, you're not going to need to sell PLS in 2 years, because if you take your PLS and you stake that, there's hopefully going to be other protocols where you can earn some type of stable coin, and that will provide any income you need over the next 2 years, right? Like, do you see yourself selling? Like, I personally don't see myself selling.
Yeah, but Sam, you wouldn't have said that fucking 3 weeks ago when we started talking. You were like all about selling shit, and I was like, you got to stop thinking like that. You got to stop thinking like that. You have to start thinking like, remember, but not, you were just a little bit.
No, you're right. You're right.
And I was just
like,
I didn't
understand
stop completely. I told him, I said, stop everything right now. Please just listen to me. The only reason guys make money in crypto is because they wait.
Yeah,
and
because they
put in money. They put in money.
They hodl for the long term. Yeah, they hodl for the long term. But yeah, I mean, in general, like, there's a big difference between like selling for, a Toyota and then like paying off your house or, doing something like that. So you just have to realize that, like, once you lock in those profits and you do that, then your upside potential is now gone, right? So you got to think about that. And like we're talking about crypto as the best performing asset class in history, right? So like we're literally like astronauts on a moon mission financially. So it just depends, like when you want to lock those in. I mean, I've said it before, but like I had a friend that he was like one of the top holders in Hex, like early on, hundreds and hundreds of millions of coins, and he dumped for a house, right? And I mean, that's awesome. He paid a house in cash, and it was like a good priced house, but he lost all of his Hex, bro. Like he would have been, like a winning whale, like
that's crazy.
Kind of sucks.
Wow.
So
And both of these guys know many of those people. maybe not by name, but at least by address, right? Like, how many addresses have you seen nuked over the years that would have just been absolutely wealthy?
Oh yeah.
I mean, like sickening numbers. Like, Marco, your streaming setup is absolutely crisp as a crispy.
What's up, fellas? What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing?
What's up, Marco? How you doing, brother? Thanks for coming
Dude,
on.
Marco, this is
What's
Sam. He's my life coach and personal
Sam, what's
trainer.
up, buddy?
He comes on with me every day.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I've been catching you guys stream. Is every day at like 11, right? If I'm not mistaken, or so.
11 a.m. Eastern, Hex in the morning, baby.
I'm proud of you, man. You know, a long time ago, you hit me up. You're like, you want to do this. You want to take it serious, and dude, you're doing it every day, man. Your following is growing. Your content's getting better. So congratulations, bro. Awesome, man. I love to see that.
Thanks, guys. All it takes is hard work with whatever you're doing, right? Like, whatever you're narrow-mindedly focused on, it might not be making you the big bucks or whatever, but whatever you like. If you're anything like me, I can only do what I like. Like, I just can't do anything else. And I'm also a sick bastard. Like, so it's like when I'm looking at something that I like, I don't care about the money. I just want to make friends. I get like that. I get a little bit like, I want to meet these people and know what's going on, because to me, I've lost stuff a couple times. So I'm like, what's more important to me is like, I need to make sure I know what they're actually talking about and what the fuck is actually going on. I was on a Bitcoin, I was shilling Hex in the Bitcoin talk, of course, failing miserably. Yeah. And they were like, they never said one point that made sense to me ever. Not one point they said had any fact or logic. They just said, this is the future, walked around the statements, this is the future. And it was a dude with 200K subs. And I was like, you're a piece of trash. And he sent me out of there. And like, it was just like, he was shilling ApeCoin. That's all he was doing. 200K subs in a Bitcoin thing. He was the guy he was the host. So he was the guy who could say you could come in or not. Yeah. And it was Bitcoin in the title. And he was shilling ApeCoin the entire time. Yeah.
It's sad because a lot of these guys, when they talk in bulletin points, right? They don't talk about the ordinary folks, regular education, intermediate, or advanced. They're just gonna say the most optimum shill trendy words of that week, and that's all they're gonna do nonstop, and it's sickening, because it's all false advertisement. Yeah, it's all hype. It's all false advertisement. It's a way to get people hyped to just become liquidity for them, and it is sad. It's a sad game.
How do you change that? How do you go through and like wake up more people to reality that like, you know what I mean?
It's not like especially like on crypto Twitter, it's not easy because there's a lot of people that I have friends that would literally, so they would see somebody post something, or like I would see somebody post something on Twitter and I was like, hey, look at that. That's really good. This is like either really good analysis or, like fundamentally it was really sound. And he would instantly go and look and see how many followers they had. And if they didn't have like, a lot of followers, he'd be like, you can't listen to what they say. And I'm like, dude, that doesn't matter at all. Like, that's like, you need to take what the message is, right? Like, what if they just made their account and they're, they're smart? Like, it's just stupid. Yep. So at one point, Richard had 0 followers, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, remember, not even a few months ago, this guy only had like 60K, 50K followers. And now he's almost at 200K, right? Like, it takes time, And I seen people who have 400, 500 followers, 200 followers, and these guys, the way they talk, I'm like, I'm glued to the screen. I'm glued to their tweets. I'm like, man, this person knows what they're talking about. And then you have somebody who has 20, 30, 40K, and you're like, this guy is doing nothing but shilling. He's a walking advertisement. Like, it's horrible, man. It just takes time. Honestly, it's like you can't please the mass. You got to look for that niche and that group that's willing to listen to you, and just focus on those people around you, right? Like, you can't, like, if you, especially your small time, you can't be like, oh yeah, I got to change 200,000 people's lives instantly. Nah, dude, worry about the first 200, then 2,000, then 20K, then 100,000, right? Like, you want to be a big a coffee filter, right? You want to filter the mass to your liking and to the people that you're gonna get. You don't want 1 million followers and like 90% of them are just degens. You're doing nothing. You're not speaking to no one. You don't want to do that. So it just takes
unless
time.
You're hiring someone to do all your content other than the actual video, which is like the only way a rich person would do it, I feel like, because there's no way you could do this and learn at the same time. I dedicate my whole 4-hour learning thing to learning. So like, I come on here for 4 hours to legit learn for the episode the next day. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I'm inviting guys on. I'm trying to ask the best questions. I'm trying to really open up some, like, I'm just trying to ask the best questions, because sometimes I go into these chats with guys that I think they know what they're doing, right? Like, I just assume, I'm like, okay, these guys have been here a while. And then I bring up the fixed inflation rate and they're like, oh, that's not how it works. And I'm like, I just asked Wendy's that last night. And that's how it is how it works. Everyone told me that's how it works. And they're like, oh, because some people don't really, once they get popular, they stop learning.
Yes.
They just stop learning. They're
Yep.
just like, I'm done learning because now I'm some sort of a force.
Yeah, and you hit it
like,
on the nail, dude. Like you hit it on the nail because think about it. If they do that, right, their posse are going to be similar folks like them, right? So their posse is grabbing like a random tweet from another person that probably didn't do their homework, and they're passing it to someone else. And next you know, if you have 10, 20 influencers that are in a little small group that say the same shit just in a different language, and then they pass it on, and next you know, it's just diluted bullshit information that's getting shared around. You know, what is it? A Steak for Ape said it beautiful, right? Like good news spreads slower than bad news, right? It's the truth. You want to be big and be big time, yeah. Say the most outlandish shit. Bitcoin to $1 million by next year or next 2 months, and you know, Cardano to $50 by 2 months. You know, you say all this shit nonstop. You're gonna have all these degens follow you like crazy, but that's gonna be a crowd. It's full degen, and sooner or later, you know, the people you chill with is what you become, and you're gonna be a degen sooner or later, and you're gonna be saying the most outlandish shit. So it's sad. That's how the market is, and this is how crypto is. But you know, little by little, it's like to say, like for example, a lot of these maxis are disappearing. Peter McCormick, right, the greatest pleb of all, like is leaving the space, right? Because why? They know they fucked up. They know they said the most ridiculous stuff. They know people are gonna be coming after them, and people are gonna be calling them out when Bitcoin does fall and all these other coins fall, and they want to get out before that happens. You know, why you think like BitBoy and all that stuff change his streams and change his channel? But he knew the bear is here, right? Like people are going to be wrecked or got wrecked. So he moved all the sponsorings behind them. Say, hey, I'm not sponsoring anymore, blah, blah. He knows all eyes are on him now. You know, he got to be careful what he says going forward. So this is why these guys do these things. So I recommend if you're going to do these things, you know, take your time, you know, educate yourself, make sure what you say, you know, if it's opinion, hey guys, this is an opinion. This is what I'm going to say. I don't know the facts. If I know it, whatever. If this is fact, hey guys, this is facts. These are my sources. That's it. Keep it moving, right? People like it, they like it. They don't like it, let them walk away. But you know, just you got to find your niche and your people, and just all you got to worry about, man. Honestly,
Sam, I'm gonna let you say your piece in 1 second, but it's so true. It's like if I have 400 followers that actually like me and know that I'm good at fitness, like they know. Okay, so there's 400 people. Let's say I never got more than 500 subs ever. I could make more money than most people because they're just think like it's about the people that are there. It's about, can I help you guys? I know a lot of shit. Me and Sam have been bodybuilding for a decade, every single day, and talking about it every single day for a decade. Like, so that I know for a fact, like if I wanted to do something in the future, I could do it with people that are really there. And they would believe me because I would just do something honest. Why not? It's not that hard. I've already done a lot of the footwork in some parts of my life. But Sam, what's up, man? What do you think about this whole conversation?
I see that too with people in well, not so much in the crypto space because I'm new to that, but in other areas, whether it's in fitness, right? Because that's where I've been in for a long time. But you see somebody succeed or get to a certain stage, and somebody had mentioned they stop learning, right? And like that's one of the things that I like journal about, because I'm like, I never want to get to that point where it's comfortable. And then, because as soon as you see this with people who put content out a lot, right? And they're like, oh, this is really good, valuable content, right? And they do that. And then at some point they're big enough where they're like, hey, I don't have the time to learn anymore. So they stop learning, and then they just cover bullshit and talk about dumb shit that doesn't matter. Or like, have you guys seen that take place where you're following somebody because they are providing value to the marketplace, and then at some point it transitions to something else, and it's just like narrative speak instead of actually going through that process? And then how do you take care of that in your own life? Like, what do you personally do so that you don't get that way?
I guess I'll go first and say it. So I think at the end of the day, like it's healthy for folks to do this, right? And I like to do it at least maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months if I end up not doing it. You have to have a self-reflection, right? You know, you have to grab, like literally I sit down, I grab pen and paper, and I say to myself, okay, what was positive the past month? What was negative? What was my goals? Was I closer to it? Was I not closer to it? And what affected that, right? I felt like, okay, if I was hanging out with, let's say, the past 2 weeks, a certain individuals, I noticed my habits, my work ethic, anything I was striving for is going to the left side or to the right. I know, okay, now I need to be careful walking or chilling with those individuals for a while, right? Until I get back on my path. Like these are things folks need to do. And it's funny to say, but I think people should have a journal, right? It might sound cliche, it might sound corny, but things like that matter because we think we remember everything we do the last week, the month before. Not, man. There you go. Absolutely. There
Every
you go,
day.
man. King, man. Like that works, right? And then you reflect, you look back, let's say the past 2 weeks, the past 4 or 5 pages, whatever it is, you see, and I like to put like on the top right corner, I like to put like, like a cell phone signal, right? Like 1 bar, 2 bars, 5 bars. It kind of tells me really quick if I'm on the right path or not. If I'm under 3 like bars or under, I know something's wrong. And if I know something's wrong, I got to look at those 2 pages right away and figure out what it is that made it wrong. And then I proceed forward, So like, for example, the past 2 months, all my pages have been 5 bars. Why? Because I met amazing people. I did the Vegas thing outside, during, and before of it. I felt like my life is much better because of it and the people I interacted with, stuff like that. And it was phenomenal, So I put a bar, and I felt like that week or that month was phenomenal, even better than I expected. I put a star around the corner. So I, flipped the pages. Hey, that was super important. Why was it super important? And I think that's really good because if you're feeling down, and listen, we're all human, right? Like we're going to be feeling like superstars 1 month, 2 months, and next 1 month we're going to just feel like the worst human being ever. It happens. Life hits you, right? You always go back to those pages and you just re-trigger your brain. So
Marco, sorry, and I want to hear Wendy's as well.
Of course.
Marco, what do you get a lot of value from that reflection journaling, goals when you go through and do it? So can I ask you?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we get value from it, and then please say what you're going to say. So why don't you do it every day? I'm just asking for me because like I do it every day. Sometimes I do it twice a day, and it's literally changed my life completely,
so,
for years.
I used to do this big time, like back in the days, right? Like, because I was like so into my reading, my books, motivation. I even went to like Tony Robbins and The Power Within and Walked on Fire. I did all that shit, right? So at one point I was like super go home in life, and then life hits you, and you go up and down the roller coaster effect. So I'm getting back into my routine again, and and not only that, I do have a wife, I do have 2 kids, so it's a little hard to like put all my focus on myself. So little by little, I'm getting better at it. So I was doing it once a month, and I try to do it like every other week. And then like you said, if you get to the point where you do this daily, if you can even take out little notes, like on my my Samsung phone, right? Like I have a pen, and if something hits me in the head, like an idea or feeling that I feel like is important, I put it in notes, and then I put it in my journal. And then like, even though I might not touch my journal in a week or so, I do have many, snippets of what I want to say, what I want to put, and then I put it. So it's almost like putting it every day, but I'm not really touching it every day. And of course I could get better at that. So, but that's why I do it, honestly. And does it work? Yes, absolutely. Like, you need to reflect, guys. We get bombarded with thousands and thousands of shit. Like Lit said in the conference, right? We have about 84,000 thoughts that hits our head daily, right? And you think like you could have amazing thoughts, ideas, and stuff like that, and then 2 hours later, it's gone, and you will never think twice about it ever again. And you never know that one little thought could change. It literally could change your direction and whatever you want to do, or somebody else that you're interacting with. So it's important, man. It really is.
Thank you for sharing. Wendy's, what are your thoughts on like for your own personal development? Like, what are you doing so that you don't get to that stage? Maybe you're not putting out as much content or whatever, or maybe you are, but what do you get to that stage so you don't get complacent for yourself in your own life?
I mean, it's definitely hard sometimes, when you don't have to do anything and you just have money coming in. So I'll tell you a story. Like, I had an inheritance that I was supposed to get that was like about $80,000 a year, and it got stolen from me. Oh, wow. Well, wait, it got stolen from me by my uncle. It was my grandfather's money, and he was dying, and he kind of pulled on my grandfather's heartstrings. I'm your only son, my only son, like, I'm not going to be here to take care of him, yada yada. So he kind of got him to change the inheritance, and then he died, and it was just a big shit show or whatever. Well, so my cousin now, like, he never has had motivation. He just been getting that 80,000 a year, and it was hard for me because I was working 2 jobs, just trying to get ahead and invest and stuff, and he just had 80,000 in his lap the whole time. But guess what? He just sits on the couch and smokes weed every day, and he has for many years. Where I was like grinding. Now I do find like it difficult sometimes to go out and like get work done. Part of
So
the reason why.
what do you do about that? Like what?
Well,
Because we're all going to be there.
Truthfully, I hired somebody that was hungry. He's not rich yet. He's a go-getter, and we hired him, at Legion to basically like, yo, you got to do this. Like, we want this stuff done, but like, you're like, this is your job. Like, you need to get this done. And yeah, it's been working great. Like, he schedules meetings. He does, pretty much all that like heavy, work that I wouldn't want to do, like the boring stuff. And even like he takes notes from, I'm like, yo, write this down.
That's
and
dope.
So then like, if we're in a meeting or whatever, I'm like, yo, Nikki, what were the notes? And then boom, he just reads it. So I mean, not everybody can do that and stuff. But yeah, I guess that is a way, like if you do start, getting to a point where, you have these options, you don't even have to do it yourself. You can just outsource it.
Once the hours of your day are less valuable than the work that the other person is doing, like that's the moment, right? Like that's the moment when Wendy's was like, okay, my day is fucking yammed up now. Like even in his mental space, which really that's what it is. It's mental space. Yeah. It's like you can't. It's just like if you have someone, every good YouTuber has someone who does their thumbnails and the timestamps. Right. Why? Because you can't do that. You don't have enough fucking time.
I mean, delegating is a skill, right? Like, if you're good at delegating, then you have somebody to delegate to, then your life gets a lot better. But like, as far as like talking about like the YouTubers, so like most of the YouTuber guys, like those guys were plebs, right? So like Carl the Moon was like bagging groceries when he started his channel. He didn't have no damn money, right? So these guys, they come in like a wolf in sheep's clothing, and then when they get in the hen house, they slaughter everybody, because that's the first time they're ever like seeing money. Whereas like if you've already made it in crypto, like before I said a word publicly, I was already a millionaire. You know what I mean? So there's just the motivation to like screw people and stuff is not really there, and like I don't I'm not someone that like I'm always telling people that the important things are helping other people and stuff, like hex flexing and everything is cool, but that's why the Wendy's challenge was to tip people, like your servers and your housekeepers and all that kind of stuff, tip the bill, all that, because to me that like helping people out that are struggling is the number one way that we can outreach. And even hex merch we did, we had like a St. Jude's line, and we gave all proceeds to St. Jude. And there's not a lot of people in crypto that are doing charity, but we're in the best performing asset class, and we're literally getting the most money. Like we should be doing the most charity, right? So I think it's just being grounded.
The top ones. I mean, there's a lot of Hexicans that I see, and I'm just like, how many millions of dollars have you given away at this point? Like,
absolutely. But like,
you've probably given away $1 million minimum just from like shit here and there back in the day. Like when you were like,
I've done the math. I've done the math. It's under $1 million. It's in the hundreds of thousands. So.
yeah. It's crazy.
But what's good about that is not just value of money wise, but think about the education you gave, the time you gave, all that stuff. It's definitely over $1 million.
That's
People don't think
priceless.
about that. That's priceless. So that matters.
Yeah. But yeah, and then the other thing I would say is just keeping people around you that keep you grounded, because I mean, anybody who's made a lot of money, it does get to you. It does get to like blows up your head. You start walking around like Conor McGregor after a title, after he wins the title, you start just thinking your shit don't stink. And so it's good to have people that'll like knock you back down a little bit and just be like, yo, bro, like chill out. You ain't all that.
Take a big dump when you wake up like everyone else. Like, exactly. That's what I always tell people. It's like, we're all like animals too. Like, it's like, at the end of the day, like someone could, if there's like a physical thing, like anyone can die at any moment, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing. It's like, that's where my life has always kind of changed, is because like, I did not think that I was going to when I say make it, I don't like, I wasn't necessarily thinking I was going to die, but I did not think I would be successful. I mean, I just didn't, because everyone in my life was just like, you're fun, you're cool, but like, you're not smart. And they didn't say it directly, but I was in classes with sped kids because I wouldn't shut the fuck up. Like, I just wouldn't shut the fuck up. And that's the only problem. Like, and then eventually they put me on meds and I like got all centered out for like 8 years. But now I'm making a comeback, and I'm saying, like, it has nothing to do with smarts. It has to do with passion and what you care about, right? And you guys know that for sure. Like, you would have never been at the moment you're at unless you were being authentic and trying your hardest at most of the points. Like, because you can't do it.
I did like, from being like a pretty young kid, I always knew I was going to be rich. I always knew I was going to be successful. And even when I didn't know the route, I didn't know anything about investing. I knew I had to learn. And it was really boring to start. And so it was just like, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 20 minutes here. But I knew it had to be done. And I had so many people, man, like tell me like, oh, you're wasting your time. Like, why are you learning about that? Like, you're making $12 an hour. Like, what is investing? What, like, do you even have anything to invest? What are you going to do? Invest like $5? I had like people tell me like, you're a nurse, you're never going to be a millionaire. Like, you should have been a doctor if that's what you wanted.
Projecting
themselves. Yeah. I had people telling me like, when I was working overtime, like, why are you working overtime? The government's just going to take it all. Like, they do everything they can to like, keep you unmotivated. And because like,
they want you to be the same. They want you to be like that.
Misery loves company, Yep. And it's funny because I was telling somebody, I think I might have been talking to Whales or whatever, but I was like, you don't see me like hex flexing a lot, but like sometimes on my private social media, I will, because I know the haters are watching and I know it's killing them.
Of course.
So, that's pretty much the only place I go.
And when everyone was hex flexing in Vegas, I was like, guys, like at some point you got to be like, what are we doing? No, I meant like they're $5,000 rental cars. These guys have been in crypto for fucking 8 years. Like, can you let them do a fucking thing? Like, shut the fuck up.
That wasn't hex flexing. That was just that was like friends.
We're just having a good time. A very good time.
That wasn't a hex flex.
No, and anyone who knows about rental cars, I mean, come on, you're just chilling on the weekend trying to fucking take some cool fucking pics and make some videos, guys. Like, these guys have earned that right. Like,
and I will say this: like, people would get pissed if we just said like, yeah, crypto or Ethereum, or we said anything else, but. Like a lot of times, because people got mad at like Rackham. Like Rackham bought like a $1 million car, right? Like this was like a while ago. Hex was like sub penny still, and it didn't like say Hex or anything on it. Like when he first had it, but now the license plate has it. I think it has like a sticker on it or whatever, but it didn't say anything. And everyone's like, "What the hell, man? You got that with Hex? Like you're gonna show people?" Because there was a time in Hex.
I remember that.
Said, there was a time in Hex where everyone said, "There's no liquidity. You guys can never sell. You guys." And so anytime that. Yeah, there goes the proof. So it's like, like whether you don't like it or not, whether you think it's bad optics or not, you can use it, right? In an argument. You can just like save that and be like, okay, well now I know #HexFlex. I can like look down, like when the next time somebody says like there's not enough liquidity, you're like, well, look at all these guys like eating 5 stars, dinners every night, and renting Lambos or driving Lambos, and there's plenty of people that buy them too. To me, I've said it many times. I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me to like go and buy the best of the best. Like, like Rackham literally went like, he was homeless and now he's like, boom, like everything's the best. Yeah. I think that there's something to be said for
was
like
he really homeless?
Stepping up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. He was, he said he was homeless for, I think it was like about 7 months or so, something like that. 7, 8 months.
So he was going through it when he found Hex.
But
I think like, he did it. He went through it way before that. Then he did.
He was fine when
he was set before Hex.
He was set before that. But like you step up to like an M2 or an M4, because imagine you just go straight to an M8 or you go straight to a Lambo. You don't even appreciate like an M2 or an M4. That's like that's super fun. I mean, to many people, that's a dream car. Yeah, it's a journey, man. Like we're all young, man. Like life, you got plenty of years left to like enjoy stuff. So. That's one
thing.
Wendy's
afraid is he's gonna run out of stuff to do, so he's like slow bleeding it. Like he's like, I don't want that sick car yet because I want it.
No, I will honestly tell you, I've gotten like nice cars like plenty of times, and no matter what car it is, I don't give a shit what it is. Even a Bugatti, eventually it just becomes the Bugatti. Like you get used to it. It just it loses that like special feeling. So to me. If like multiple and I rent them like multiple times a year at this point, like 3-4 times a year, and it is expensive. Like when you really do the math, like you're almost better off just buying a used one and then like spreading the payments out, like for as much as I spend a year on doing it. But there's something to be said about the, like, I get to feel like a child every single time I do it, and that is fun, right? Because like I do it and then it's like another 4 months before I do it again, and I'm only doing it for a few days or whatever. And yeah, I
like a
love
nice
feeling
little
like a
adrenaline
school
rush,
kid.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah,
And like to
yeah.
relate to what you both said, right? So one, what Jim Rat Crypto was saying about the educational piece, and people thought he's not smart, he's dumb because of education, stuff like that. Guys, it doesn't, like, education is what you make of it, right? Like I'm proud to say
Mhm.
it's simple, right? Like I was a dropout of high school. You know, I dropped out of high school and all that stuff. Ended up getting my GED late in my years, right? Because I didn't care for that type of education because I was just more smarter than most people around me, and I just got so bored in life in that, right? And what attendees and what Wendy said at one point, it's the same thing, right? Like there was something in me that I knew, even when I was, and some people know my story. I was homeless for 7 weeks in Brooklyn, you know, around the early 2000s when I was around 15, 16 years old. I've been through that grind, you know, I seen it. And I always told myself, and I could pull my wife right here, like in the other room, she'll tell you, since I met her, I've been with my wife for almost 20 years. I always told her, by the time I'm 30 years old, babe, I'm going to be a millionaire. Like I just knew some way, somehow I was going to make it because I always walk different than everybody around me. My friends, my family, people I interacted with. I thought different. The master would do this. I did this. I went the opposite
Yep.
way. And I
Oh yeah,
always did that.
100%.
And I didn't make it at 30, but at 33 years old, you know, I became a millionaire and I'm 34 now. Right.
That's
Right.
literally when I became a millionaire. It's
Yeah.
33.
Right. Like, God, look at that. Right. Like it's the
Yep.
number, man. Right. And
Mhm.
it's like, you know, and it happened. Right. And, you know, and it's funny. There was at one point, like you said earlier, like I caught myself at one point. There's one car I always wanted, right? It was a Porsche 911 Turbo GTS.
Mhm.
That was my dream car. Like besides a Nissan, a Nissan car that I always wanted when I was younger. This was my dream car. And I caught myself twice last year. I was like, I told my wife, like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get this car. I'm going to get it. And I literally, the second time, I went straight to the dealership, man. And I was right there at the dealership. The guy's about to approach me. And my wife's just looking at me. I'm looking at her like, nah, not right now. Right. Because I'm like, I told
Mhm.
myself, like, why get this now? And if wait just a year, 2-3 years later, I could buy the fucking lot if I wanted. Right. Like, it doesn't make sense. And
It's not
I
just
walked
that.
away.
It's also the
Yeah.
delayed gratification, and
Yep.
there's something to be said of having something to
Yep.
look forward to, right?
Exactly.
It's
Yep.
you know, like the saying, like, don't meet your heroes. You
Mhm.
know, it's like there's something like nice about like having that dream that you're still
Yeah.
like, you know, striving
Exactly.
for, and you're like,
I want
not
to
yet,
bring it
not
to
yet.
the bodybuilding world because I had like the same exact thing. Like this literally, it's like the
Mhm.
same. Like I went too hard, too quick, and I was just like, this was years ago. So you could tell all my pictures where I'm really ripped. I have no facial hair. You could tell it's a couple years back. I was like, I want to do this. I want to be the best right now. And yes, I trained for 3 years, totally natural, 100% diet, 100% macro count.
Yeah, you got a phenomenal body, bro.
And
Good job.
then I said, okay, I want to take it to the next level. And what a lot of guys do, young guys, is they just fucking take the most hardcore drugs you could ever imagine.
It's terrible.
The day that they learn about drugs. I know. They find
A
the
couple of
most
my friends
hardcore
have.
drug you can
Yeah.
literally jam into your body. And then but the real alpha advice from any real bodybuilder is like, go to the doctor, take the smallest amount, work very hard. Like that's like the real red pill behind the scenes advice, because they know you won't make it if you don't enjoy the journey. You have to get a little bigger at a time, because if your guns get 22 inches in 3 weeks, you're just like, wow, my
You
whole
think
life
it's easy,
is over.
yeah?
I'm the smartest guy in the room, but really you just jam Trent in your asshole.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. And those are the guys talking online saying everything you should buy, everything you should do. It's the guys that say, I've never taken a drug in my life. And they're
A couple of my
ripping
friends like messed up their hormones and stuff too. You know, imagine you're like a young dude and you can't get a hard on, like, you know, without
That's
Viagra
scary.
and stuff. It's
I
pretty
cry,
terrible.
bro.
Yeah,
I know
it's pretty
16-year-olds that have
terrible,
limp
bro.
dick
Nah,
because
that's
they
insane.
took drugs. And
Yeah,
guess
it's
who
horrible.
sold it to them? A grown man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A grown
terrible,
man,
man.
just like y'all, someone not making legit money. You guys are making legit money, but this dude's still a rich dude nonetheless. These guys are fucking marketing powerhouses. These fucking trend out dudes. You know, Mike O'Hearn, all those guys. Mike O'Hearn has been saying he's natural. He is 50 years old and he's 250 pounds of lean muscle. He looks like the strongest man I've ever seen in his life, and he looks better than he did when he was 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the videos on YouTube where
You got help,
they're like,
right? Like
yeah,
not
it's like
natural.
the natty to like not natty scale and like what they
Yeah.
say, you know, and you're like they're like looking at all the pictures and they're like, bruh,
Yeah,
bruh,
if that's natural, I think the Sense Foundation needs to sit down with that guy because that's
for real.
bullshit, right?
Yeah,
Like,
let's probe them.
right? Like that's insane. But it's beautiful, right? Like this goes to show, like, you just gotta understand, like, even if you feel different, if you think different than your friends and family, like there's nothing wrong with you guys, right? Like it's okay to be different than your family or friends or the people you grew up with. Like it's okay, the most geniuses people out there and the people who really made it in life, that's the journey they walk past. They suffer and they had that awkward life along the way, but then the rest of the life, everybody wants to be their friend, everybody wants to be around them, stuff like that. Now they don't look like an awkward person, right? Now they look like the genius, right? When they finally make it, like just walk your path, man, and forget about what the naysayer says and what people say all the time. Like, how many times in my life like people told me like, oh, yeah, you're not gonna make it, you're gonna this, you're gonna do that. And these are people that trying to ask me for loans left and right here and there. I was like, what happened with they're not gonna make it type of thing? Nah, make your ass to the bank, go ask for them for the loan. Like,
Hmm.
don't ask for me, like it's just incredible, right? Like, just stay focused, guys. Like what Sam was saying earlier, have your little journal, have your thing, whatever works. If it works, whatever you're doing, just do it, right? But have something and don't change for anybody else. It's not a race. Like Wendy's could be here, I could be here, Jim Rat could be right here. It doesn't matter. Like we all have a different path. We all do our own thing. You're like, as long as there's
And once
this
you get to a
moment.
certain point, it
Exactly.
really does not matter anyway.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's all
Exactly.
like ego and everything, above a certain number.
Yeah.
And it's just for fun. It's basically like just for fun and like glory at that
Right.
point.
And you
So,
guys go home to your fam, you say what's up, you eat dinner,
Yep.
you go to bed. Like everyone there's only a finite amount of time. And I'm sure these guys, that comes to a realization really quick when you have money. You're like, fuck, like this life is so litty and I have all these opportunities now. Like when
Yeah.
you're young, you're kind of just time's just flying, right? You're just like, nah, a little bit, you're working, you're not 100% certain what's going on. But then when you get a clue, you're just like, you can really double down, because I'm under the impression that this is where most of the value is that I could be within the crypto community, right?
Yep.
Not necessarily like anything specific, but that's so clear to me that I just want to spend all my resources and energy in this area just because the value's there. I don't even know what I want. It's just like, I want to learn everything. I'm
Sure.
like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like people want to say stuff like 100% uptime, all this stuff. You guys might know what that means, but everyone just says they know what it means. Everyone just says they know what everything means. And I'm starting to call people out that have been here for a while. I'm like, you've been saying this shit, and they were just in the stream with me, and they said the fucking opposite. And you telling me you know what's going on? That's all I'm doing. I'm not saying.
well, it's like you could be like going to the gym and you could be a casual, right? And then like someone's like, oh yeah, I just did a PR, 405, and you hear that and you're like, what the PR? What the fuck is a PR? But like you get like the context, you're like, okay, I kind of get what it is, because you hear it enough, but you still like you don't ever like have the courage to ask like, what does it stand for?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like that's crypto. But eventually, if you stay around like a niche community like crypto and stuff, you'll end up picking it all up. It's
Yeah, and it's
but
okay
it
to
is
ask
better to
questions,
ask.
right?
Yeah,
It's
better to
okay.
ask.
We don't all know everything. Look, I even look at the camera, right? I made crypto 2015, man. I made a lot of money, lost a lot of money, up and down, up and down. When I met the HEXICAN worlds, and when I consider my mastermind group, the little posse I chill with at certain times, they flipped my world upside down, man. The shit I thought I knew was like, nah, I gotta learn 10 times more, like the terminology. And there was no, how you say it, ego, like, okay, what was that again? That how it works? Okay. Write it down, learn about it, spend 3-4 o'clock in the night, in the morning, just learning about it. And then hey, there you go. Something off my checklist, right? I'm always willing to learn. I'm always like, and I'm always gonna say this, I don't care to be the richest guy in the room. I don't care to be the smartest guy in the room, right? Because that means I have more room to grow, right? Like if I'm the smartest guy in the room, then you know what? Something's wrong, man, because I'm not gonna get better. I'm not gonna learn something new. I'm gonna be stagnant and I'm gonna get too comfortable. And I'm gonna end up being the dumbest guy in the room sooner or later. I want to be the average guy, and I want to be that guy that we could be 30 people in this room, and the next 15 people ahead of me could be way smarter than me. I prefer that, right? Because I get to learn more for the next 15 people that's ahead of me, right? And that's how life should be. Like you should always want to advance, whether it's in health, wealth, finance, whatever it is. Like you should want to do that, never be comfortable where you're at. Like that's the biggest advice I give to folks. Just never be comfortable, because the day you do, it's you know, you only could go down from there. You know, it's just like age. You're just gonna get older. You know, like you only could be smart. You know, only a certain amount. Like just you gotta want it, man. And you know, that's how I do things. So
the want it thing is like
Yeah.
the big question mark, right? Like you gotta want it, but we all know so many people with every opportunity in the world around us
Yep.
that they literally won't do anything.
And that's fine.
So I always say it's like this, right? I say that
Sad,
like
but
getting
that's
getting
life.
rich and like learning finance is basically the same thing as like getting like a six pack, right? Getting in really good shape, because it takes constant work. You don't really see anything day to day. You just have to stick to the plan and like not let people like dissuade you from the path. And people will try to stop you. They'll stick donuts. Like how many times you've been like dieting, like cutting, and like people will stick donuts in your face. They'll stick pizza in your face. It's the same kind of like
Just
sabotage
to
that
tempt you.
people.
Just to tempt
Yeah,
you.
yeah, it's the same kind of sabotage like we were talking before about like people like, yo, bro, why you
On
working
purpose.
overtime like for no reason? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you know, I've always said that there's a huge parallel between like, to me, that if somebody can get a very good body like a bodybuilder, then they can get rich. It's the same kind of discipline. And when you ask somebody like, do you want to be rich? Like everyone's going to say yes. Just like you say like, do you want to be in shape? Everyone says yes, but that's not what it means. Like you have to want it more than everything else, because there's so much sacrifice that needs to be made, right? When you know that you're over your calories for the day, that either means you need to do more cardio, or your next meal needs to be like very, very light. So there is sacrifices that need to be made. And when there's a bear market and the money coming in starts getting less, now you got a budget, right? You could just keep living that same lifestyle potentially, but then you're eating into your profits, you're eating into your principal and stuff like that. And it's like,
Yep.
you know, you have to be very disciplined and stuff. So there's a pretty big parallel between the two communities. So it's interesting to me that there's not more like rich people that are in very good shape and not more you know, fit people that are rich.
Exactly.
It's funny because I seem to find the rich guys that end up getting in shape are like in their mid 40s. It's like something happens at that point where they're like, fuck this noise. I've been rich for so fucking long. Like
It is also
doubling
like
down on business, and I'm gonna do 1 year where I'm like figure everything out and get like locked in, and then they end up being like ripped until they're like 90.
I mean, a lot of people.
Well,
They
I mean,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that like I have friends that have like personal trainers and stuff like that now, you know, because obviously they can afford it. And for me, like when I stopped working the jobs, I lost like 50 pounds, and then boom, I was like walking around with a six pack, and like, dude, the people at work, they were like, what the hell? They like saw me in Miami and I was like ripped and stuff, and they were like,
Awesome, bro.
oh my
Awesome.
God, yeah, oh
Dude,
my
you
God,
were
what the hell happened to
crushing.
him? Yeah,
Right?
and I was like, yo, I mean, I got time now, right? Like, and it's funny because like the way I work out is so like not normal, because I don't like, so like the average person will like go to the gym for 45 minutes to like an hour and 15, and they'll do push pull or whatever. Like I don't really like time my work because I have so much time in my day. I'll just do like a set and then just like completely chill. So it literally feels like I don't work out at all, because
At
I'm
least
going
you do
over doing a
something.
set. But yeah, and I mean, like I look pretty good. I mean, I
Yep.
don't look bad at all. So it's kind of funny though, because like I would have originally said like, no, that can't work. You know, you're supposed to have like 35-second rest. You need to be doing like, you know, this amount of like rep range and, you know, stuff like that. But it really is like time under, you know, tension and stuff like that. And if you're still doing the volume, even if you're like separating your sets by like a decent amount, like you can still. And for me, it works because it's like when I would go to the gym for an hour, I would be so exhausted that I would just be like annoyed. Like on the drive home, I'd be like annoyed. I'm like, man, that sucked. Like this sucks, you know.
Yep.
And now I don't feel like that at all. I just like do sets. Like the set might suck or whatever, but you know, like I'll just like completely recover and then do it again, and then do it again, and do it again. You know,
It
and it's
takes
just like an all day
70%
thing.
less work to keep your body than it does to gain muscle. It really does. Like I've kept this body that I have now, which isn't as impressive as my old one, but better than everyone still. And it's I do 45 minutes max leisurely. I'm talking leisure 40. I hit heavy weights, of course. I do 3 sets, 5 sets, couple workouts, hit it hard. I mean, when I'm hitting it hard. But to be honest, I'm in and out of there so efficiently, and people waste their whole time there, and I'm already back.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. But
It's
but most people don't realize that it's mostly nutrition and not what you do in the gym. Like
Yeah.
as long as you're exercising the muscles and you're like eating decently, like you're probably going to start showing results after a while. But most people give up before because they go too hard, right? Like, you know, you've been in the gym and like there's the same fat guy that's been there for 3 hours and he wants it so bad, but he like burns himself out and like it's like he doesn't realize it's like a marathon, not a sprint.
It's a
And
fucking marathon. It's an everyday.
and they're like, fuck this. I did 100 hours in the gym this week, right? And like I don't see anything, so they give up. And it's like,
I
yo, you could have
traded
done
Shib all
done
week, and I
4.
don't have any money still.
Yeah,
It's
You know,
like
it's funny what you both said, right? To bring both of the conversations together. So, well, what Wendy said earlier, right? But the question is like, do you want to get rich, right? Like, I have a lot of friends and family, right? That they see what I did the past couple of years, and they're like, dude, I'm ready. Like, I want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. I want to do what you're doing, right? I'm like, you sure you want to do this? They're like, yeah. They're like, oh, you know, I could do that. I could trade. I could do this. I could that. Oh, okay. I grab pen and paper, and I bring the conversation totally different. I'm like, all right, let's look at your life, right? Like, how's your work ethic? How's your sleeping pattern? What book have you read lately? How does your bills look? How does this look? How does that look? You know, and they're like, does all this matter? I'm like, absolutely. Like, all this leads to other things, and this is how it does. Like, look at my little man, right? Like, all this matters, and it takes time. And and can you do this consistently for the next year or two? Well, I got to do all that just to be where you at, blah blah. Yeah, you think I woke up and just did this out of nowhere? No, it takes time. Just like somebody like with your body, bro, right? Like, people are like, I want 6 packs, I want this, I want that. They think it's easy. Oh, I could go to the gym for a couple hours. No, it's doing it consistently, eating right, watching your weight, doing this, watching what you do daily.
I weigh
being
myself
consistent,
every single
all that
morning.
stuff.
I write it on a piece of paper.
And guess
that's
what?
Just habit. That's just habit, right?
They
Like,
give up. They try for 1 week and that's it. It's over. Like, that's it. And they wonder
and then
why
I
they
tell
can't
people
make
like
it.
water weight too, and they don't even want to hear it. I'm like, oh, I gained 2 pounds a day. I'm like, don't worry about it. Let's go. Keep moving on. Like, let's go. Let's hit the gym. And they're like, but I did this whole work this week and now I'm 2 pounds more. And I'm like, you look great. Let's keep going. Like, let's rip some weights. And they just don't want to. They don't think it's going. They've never seen anything through. They've never seen anything through. It's like, please.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, and the little exercise I do with my friends, right? Like, I go, right? Hey, Alo, you want to say hi? You know, I go and I give them like a book. I give them like a little bit, like a 1-pager of like what to do and everything. So you can say hi. Say hi. This is my son Oliver, and my daughter Olivia.
Oh, I couldn't tell. They look nothing like you.
Yeah, yeah, they mix.
They look like you're twins.
Yeah, man, they're great. All right, guys, finish your homework. Come on. Right, so it's like, end of the day, I give them this little sheet and I make them do it. And I'm like, all right, so this is one of my favorite books of all time, right? Like, and I have a couple of copies of this type of book, right? And I always wait for that. It's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's my favorite book. I read this part like 14 times in my life, right? And I'm like, all right, are you serious? All right, I'm gonna give you this book. Here's this piece of paper. In a week, just 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever it is, I want you to, answer these questions and then read this book. It's not that many pages. Read it. A week, 2 weeks later, I come back. All right, so where you at? Let me see that paper. Oh, either they lost the paper, either they're too busy to read the book, all that stuff. I'm like, but you want to get where I'm at. There's no way in hell you can get where I'm at if you can't do this for 1 week. I've been doing this shit for 2 years plus. Like, come on, people. Like, you want to do it and you do it or you don't. You want to work out, get 6 abs and all that stuff, and 6, packs and biceps and all this stuff. Go to the gym or go to your backyard, lift rocks, do something, lift books, do whatever you got to do to lift weight. But they don't. And then they wonder why they're stuck and stagnant. And this is honestly 90% of the world is like this. And it's sad. Like,
they really
this is where
want
it goes to.
Because just like Wendy says, anyone knows that if you walk fast for an hour and 15 minutes a day and eat like a rabbit, you will be ripped. It doesn't matter if you work out. Yes, you won't be as ripped if you don't work out for sure. But like to get to what most people come to me
you don't even have to walk fast. If you just increase the time, right? And you could be listening, you could be watching YouTube, because I was doing that every single night in the summer for to like keep the abs and stuff. And it was like, I was like, man, I'm not working. I got plenty of time. So I just hop on voice chat. Like, I hop on streams with Motley, and you'll hear it sometimes. Like, sometimes I'm on a stream with Motley, you'll hear like a treadmill going, or you'll hear me outside. And it's because I'm literally just doing like super light cardio, but it doesn't matter. You're burning calories. And if you keep it up enough, like, you don't even
you're
feel
learning.
It. Yep. Yeah.
And you're fucking learning like alpha crypto, like day to day, like up to date, brand new shit while he's burning calories, not eating, not wasting time. He's about to go to bed on time because he decided to walk. Because if you already decide to walk, you already decided to go to bed on time because you're deciding to do it right.
And that's what I was telling you, bro. And I was doing that while I was working too.
It's just, it happens, man. Like you do one thing, it feels good, you accomplish something, and just keep on. You know, like it sounds corny, but you gotta celebrate the little things you do, right? If you tell yourself, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go to the store. Yeah, I have my car right there. The store is 5 blocks away. I could, yeah, anybody could go in the car, drive to the store, gather stuff, and come back. But you can say stuff. You know what? No, I'm gonna walk this block and whatever, right? If you do it, you come back home, like look in the mirror, like that was awesome. Like that matters. Little things like that, encouraging things matter. Like that gets you pumped. And next, you know, the next day, and next day, you do it to the point where it becomes second nature. Like you don't even think about it no more, right? Like this is the name of the game. Like you just gotta do
there's
it.
a lot of psychological things that you could do, and it's like a lot of times like people
Little
avoid.
things, man.
I'll tell you something weird I used to do. So people would avoid any kind of like discomfort, you know, and sometimes I think that there's like a beauty in finding and like yeah, I've had people tell me like this is super weird, but so like it would be raining or whatever, and I would have like an umbrella, like you know, when I'm coming home from work, and you know, I used to park like pretty far because I believed in like walking to work, you know, even if you drive, you know,
Smart.
like that you're gonna walk a bit, and it would be like downpouring rain, and I like wouldn't pull out the umbrella. I'm like, I'm just gonna like, you know, like just this is, you know, natural, like it maybe it's like some discomfort, but I'm gonna own it, right? I'm gonna like feel good. I'm gonna like, you know, brush
It's
the
nature,
water
man.
off, and
It's
yeah,
nature.
in nature just feel good. And people would be like, they just be looking at me like, yo, he's
This
crazy.
guy's
He's
fucking on drugs. What he's doing?
yeah, yeah,
But
what is he
sometimes you
doing,
need it,
you
man.
know?
You need to just snap
Yeah.
out of it. You need the sun to
And
touch
not
your
just
face.
that,
You need
when
you
it's
need the
exactly when
water.
it's a
You need all
beautiful,
that.
the next time it's a beautiful day, everybody else is taking it for granted, and I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I got drenched yesterday, and I'm like, the sun's feeling good, you know what I mean? So there's little things like that, but I've said it many times, like a lot of people, unfortunately, they think that like money is going to make them happy, but
Yep.
I was a happy dude when I was broke. I was a happy dude. I found joy in little things, right? So like when I was working 80 hours a week and I was just grinding, like that's pretty miserable, right? So I would like find something that like gave me joy that day. So like whether it was like my lunch break and I was able to put like, you know, like a, you know, crypto podcast on or whatever, and like get into my little, you know, like nerd stuff, you know, that I was into, or whether I was like, you know, just looking at stuff online, you know, I would just have that little thing that like every
Yeah.
day I was doing that, and I would be like, man, yeah, today was a good day. I got to, you know, nerd out, or I got, you know, to eat, you know, whatever, you know, something that was like a treat or whatever. And I'm like, man, that was a good day, you know. And it's just like little things like that. You know, people just they take way too much for granted, and they think that something like money is going to solve all their problems. But guess what? There's a lot of rich people that kill themselves.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Absolutely.
you gotta address your demons before you get rich, because a lot of times money just amplifies your problems. Like, you know, BIG used to say, "Mo money, mo problems." You know,
Mm-hmm.
it just
Absolutely.
amplifies.
It
It
does.
amplifies
Jay-Z,
stuff.
Jay-Z warned me about this. Jay-Z warned me about this. You know, guys, he was warning us early, years and years ago. He was telling us, and I just listened in like, whatever. But at the end of the day, they were actually saying stuff that really meant a lot to them. Like,
Listen, they were rapping about their life, their journey, man. Like sometimes when people do this, you gotta listen. It might not
Mhm.
make sense now, but it makes
Hexicans
sense
listen,
later.
I think. I
You
think
know?
Hexicans kind of listen to stuff a little different.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a very active listener when I'm talking to someone I respect, right?
Yeah.
And I respect so many Hexicans that it's like I'm always active listening.
Yeah.
It's like I can't find any. It's just like the 5 people you're around the most. Everyone told me I would learn the most and be successful like them, and I'm just like, okay, I get it. Like I'll talk to them every day now.
Yeah.
And it's that simple. I'm not going to go hang out with my buddies that drink every day. 0% chance, never going to do it again. I would rather die.
Yeah.
I would rather die than fucking waste another fucking minute doing cocaine and drinking with my friends recklessly until 3 in the morning for
God
no
bless you, bro.
fucking reason.
Yeah.
It's disgusting
Yeah.
what they make you think is the right thing to do. There's a lot of people down
There's
there.
a temporary happiness at that moment, right? Like,
But even more, there's people down there that think that's the only way they'll be happy is if they can learn how to be in that scene. And they're so far behind because they have to get into that scene, realize it's fucking bullshit, then get onto the other side and
and then
realize,
recover, right? Like,
I
a
was
lot.
in a rehab. No, I was in his halfway house for 18 months with 11 heroin addicts
Wow. God bless you.
in a house, single family home, 4 bunk beds to each room with grown men. I was a boy. I was 19 years old. And I remember having more fun at the latter half of that experience playing jail games with these guys while they taught me stuff, because those guys have stories too. And I remember thinking, this is the best day of my life. Like, we were playing cards and they were teaching me stuff, and I was like, man, they're so nice to me. They're like, you, if you can go to the bottom and just say, man, this coffee tastes good. Like, that's, you know, I know guys that are in Nicaragua in shit huts right now, because I go to Nicaragua once a year and surf. They're in huts and they are happier than all of us combined. I can guarantee you.
Yep.
All three of us combined, and that dude
That's beautiful, man.
literally sweeps out his dirt hut and has a bed in there, and then drinks a
Where
coffee.
do you go? Do you go to San Juan del Sur?
I go to Miramar. So I go to, well, I don't want to say exactly where I go, but I stay overnight in Managua, and I go straight over. There's a point. It's called Miramar, and there's a surf camp there.
I was looking at buying a vacation house out there.
Dude, please, can we talk about it on the side? Because I know people that have real estate down there.
Oh yeah, I know. The real estate down there is extremely cheap.
$4 grand for a lot on the beach. I mean,
yes, it's crazy.
That's dope, man. And folks in the chat, right? Like, it's very simple. I challenge everyone to do this, especially tomorrow, right? Like, on your way to work, right? If you always walk the same street, the same path to go to the train, walk a different block. Even if it takes like an extra block or so, do it different path. You brush your teeth with this hand, tomorrow brush your teeth with this hand. You brush your hair with this hand, brush it with this one. Change your pattern, right? Like, snap out of it, right? We're so used to doing the same shit over and over where it becomes routine that's why it's hard to change other things, because your other patterns forces you to one direction, and people don't realize that, right? Like, you had to snap out of your regular pattern before you could snap on your regular daily routine. Snap out of it, do something different. Like, there'd be times where me and my wife were going to the supermarket, and I'm like, let's go this way. She'd be like, why are we walking that way?
Yeah,
like,
that's
I'm like, nah,
so true.
let's go this way,
People
right?
are so stuck in their ways that they're
exactly.
Just like, yeah,
you
they
have
just
to
like
do it, man.
It like hurts them. My parents are always like that. They're like, wait, turn here,
Yeah.
you know, and you're like, no.
I'm like, no, dude, like, just enjoy life. Like, take another, let's take another block. Let's walk around one more block. Let's go the opposite way. Like, you never know who you're going to meet during that time, what scenery you're going to see. There might be something that you haven't seen. Even, listen, I've been living in this neighborhood for the past, 3-4 years, right? And when I go into the store, I like to take different routes. And there's some houses, some places, some people I never seen the past 4 or 5 years, but they've always been there, right? And you never know the new conversations I have interact with these folks, or new scenery, and maybe a certain scenery just makes me give you a beautiful idea that day. Change your habit, right? Like, you want to, like, everybody thinks, okay, I want to change my life. I want to be rich. I want to this in 1 year, right? Cool. That means you have beyond extra work. You got to start changing it right now. Habits, thoughts, ideas, everything. You got to start doing it now, right? Like, it just doesn't happen overnight. But there's little things you do every day. It builds up, and then there you go. A year later, your life looks completely different. Change habits. It's even the most simplest thing, right? Like, if you have a dinner table and there's 4 seats there, I guarantee nobody realizes you probably sit in the same seat every fucking time. Like, and people don't realize that. Get up, sit in the opposite seat. It's gonna feel. I guarantee it's gonna feel weird, right? Sit in the opposite seat and do it. Right? Just do it, man. Sure. And next, you start breaking shit down. And then you realize when you want to make a certain decision or certain new work ethic or new pattern, it becomes easier because you snap out of other patterns, right? Now your body's more loose. Your flow, your mind's more loose.
This is crazy.
Just do it, man.
So true.
Like, just do it, dude. I'm telling you, man. I learned this from an old dude, like, he told me this shit. Just do it. Hey, Whales Only's in the chat. Let's go.
Whales Only's about to be next to your head.
That's my dope. That's my dude, man.
Whales is about to pop in right next to your head in about 45 seconds.
That's my dude. But guys, change your pattern, man. Like, it takes time. And I know I could speak like this. I could do this and all that stuff. Like, my wife's running. She's being on camera, right? Like, I'm telling you, man. And even myself, right? Everybody can be like, man, you sound so motivating. You sound this and stuff. Listen, I have my funk days. I can put my wife on camera right now. I have my days where they be 3 days in a row. I just sleep to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, I have my lazy days too, right? And then the next day I snap out of it and I just grind. I do something that you just got to do.
Yeah, you say you're being lazy, but you went hard for 47 hours straight the 2 days before.
Right? And sometimes you're going to crash,
you're taking
right?
a break.
But you got to do it, guys. Like, you just got to do it, man. If you do it, I'm telling you, I challenge folks. Like, it's not easy. Your goal is 1 week, guys. Forget about the year. Chat. Do this for 1 week and focus for the first 3 days. That's it. Just the first 3 days. Try something different. Combing your hair, walking, do all that stuff, right? And then by the 3rd day, I'm telling you, it's going to feel great. It's going to sound silly. And I'm telling you, in a room by yourself, I do this all the time. Celebrate. Look in the mirror and look at yourself and yell. You're awesome. You did it. It sounds corny, I'm telling you, but it feels great. By the fourth day, forget about it. You don't think twice fit. By that week, you do it. The month comes and that's it, right? Like there's one saying I always said to myself, right? The first 20 minutes of your life, right, of your day will decide the rest of the next 20 days of your month, and then it will decide the next year, right? Like it's a pattern. You do this chunk, it gets bigger and then bigger and then bigger and then bigger. You just gotta do it, man. And a lot of people, they give up in 5 minutes. They give up the first hour. And it's like, how can you change everything if you give up so easily? Like, and one more thing before I go on a rant on this is like, yes, you want to try something new, right? You have 100 people in the room with you that you got to compete with, right? People don't realize after that first hour, a good 60% of those people are gone. They give up instantly. They could sneeze and give up, right? Your competition looks like it's here, and an hour it ends up being this, and up being this. Next week is this, and next you know, you look around the room, there's only 3 people left. Now it's you and 3 people, right?
And
like
it's crazy because
and you made it. Like just do it
and hang out. Probably
people give up.
The 3 people at the top will all talk to each other and be like, "You're cool too." You know what I mean? It's like because people just like hustlers. They just want someone who's got something in the engine. They just want you to look them in the face and be transparent and on. If somebody is going to hire someone and you can promise these 2 things, that you will be transparent and honest, which is the biggest one. If you're hiring someone, you're scared to death that eventually down the line that's it, right? That's the only risk. Transparent, and then they want to win. They have to want to win. Like if you are going to come to me and say, I'm never going to win, but I'll work for you, get the fuck out.
Yeah, fuck out. Nope.
Fuck out of here. And I'm not saying I'm hiring anyone.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just saying I had a business and I did hire a few people.
Jim Rap, send Wheels the link. Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, I'm already here.
Whales,
man, what's up?
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
I'm doing good, man. Blessings to you, brother.
Yeah, same to everybody, man. It's another beautiful day out here.
And
no complaints.
2 days in a row, man. It's been great in New York, man.
Yeah, going crazy.
Right.
So
in terms of Pulse X, Pulse and Pulse Chain and the testnet, do you guys have anything to say? Everyone wants Pulse Alpha, but it's like,
sure.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, guys,
we only know certain pieces, right?
Yeah.
Everything for a big complete picture, I mean, you can't get one. And anything is really speculation. I think at this point in time, people just need to learn to keep an open mind so they could try to understand what's coming. Because what I know is that a lot of people do not understand what's coming.
Yeah. And not only that, like everybody stays so anxious for this thing to release, right? Like you have beautiful folks. You have a coffee, Crypto Coffee. You have K4K, David Feeder. You have Huddle. You have all these guys that are making videos explaining how to use Pulse X, how to do the farming, how to do it. Guys, it's free money. It's testnet. It's free. You can't fuck up. Go on it. Practice. Have fun. Touch buttons. Click on this. Do that. Because when the time comes live, that's not the time to be learning. Like you have time to learn now, and it's fun. Like I even like last night I spent about 2 hours or so. I grabbed my wife. She wants to learn more of this. I put her in the seat. I made a fake MetaMask account. Went to the faucet. Grabbed a couple of Pulse tokens. Converted to Pulse X. And here you go. She watched a couple of videos of Crypto Coffee and these guys. I'm like, do you understand some of the topic? All right, here, baby, you're gonna try it. She tried the liquidity pool herself. She tried the farming herself. She tried a couple of things, right? Of course, she don't understand the big picture of it.
Yeah, not yet.
But she's trying it, you know?
Yeah, you got to start somewhere, right?
Do it, you know?
You got to put one foot in front of the other before you running.
And it's fun. It's fun, honestly. And you get to enjoy and you get to, and the greatest feeling of all is that you get to say, hey, I'm part of this, right? Like I'm part of history. This is real. We're one step closer. Like when you interact with the testnet, you interact with all these things, it's cool because we're right there, guys. Like we're really right there. So just have fun, man. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey, man. But it's fun.
And
you
can
mess
the guys
up,
in the chat
now,
that have no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah,
there's 2 or 3 of them always. There's like from my Instagram or just people that don't know Hex or anything. We're talking right now. We're bringing up Pulse Chain. This is called Hex in the morning. Hex is a crypto that we all love very much. There's a new cryptocurrency blockchain, Pulse Chain coming out, and we in this chat believe that it is the future of DeFi. As far as I'm concerned, that is what I feel. And I'm not an expert. I am nobody to take that to heart, but I'm saying I've been researching every single day. I can't find anything better.
Yeah.
I can't.
Very simple, right? Pulse chain, guys, whoever's new to this, pulse chain is literally just like Ethereum. If you're in crypto, you should understand that, all right? So blockchain is where is the highway of everything, right? You have that. So basically, we have a testnet on that, so you could go and play with that with fake money. Then you have Pulse X, right? Is an exchange. You know, you go to the airport, you want to change American dollars to Jamaican money. It's something like a place like that. You can exchange stuff, etc. Right? You go to Richard Hart's Twitter address. He did put a tweet where all the links are there. So if you're not sure where to go, what we're talking about, you could click on those links. And there are YouTubers out there that will show you how to use each of those links. So take your time. It could be overwhelming and stuff. If you have questions, you can DM any of us. We probably will be able to help you out as much as we can. But this is what we're just talking about. We're talking about Pulse Chain. Think about the highway, and we're talking about Pulse X. Think about the exchange, like you're changing money, and these two go in sync, right? And these two things work, and this is where we basically sacrifice. This is basically what we're waiting on to come on. So just do that, guys. All right.
And that hat explains it all even better.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute
exactly, right?
fuego.
Oh, perfect, right? So Hex, right? Exchange, right? I want to change this money to this money. I go through the middle guy right here, and I just exchange.
You're touching Pulse Chain, not
right?
Hex.
Oh yeah, backwards, right? X, Pulse Chain, Pulse X, right? And this is basically where they go in between each other, right? So that's how it works. Very, very easy, right? So, you know, it's a beautiful thing. It could be a little bit overwhelming. Take your time. That's why we have time now, right? We have all the time in the world. Whether it's gonna be 2 more weeks, whether it's gonna be 2 more months, whatever, right? Take your time now. I tell folks, try to take 20, 30 minutes out of your time, right? Either before bed, breaking up, or breakfast, whatever it is. Watch a video too, and then play with the testnet. Watch a video too, play with the testnet, right? In a week or so, you're going to be very fluent in it. And then you're going to look back and be like, that's pretty easy. I remember when a lot of people are teaching how to do staking, right? And, oh my God, that's too much T-shares and this and that. Now these people could do 100 stakes instantly into 5 minutes, right? Like, just muscle memory. It just takes time, you know, just have fun with it. Like I said, once again, it's no risk to you. It's testnet. It's free, basically money, playing with Monopoly money. Just have fun and just, you know what you're doing. That's it. But that's all. Whales, you want to give us some great knowledge of something? What's new out there, man?
I was just saying that you won't know until you try it out. Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Practice makes perfect. And I mean, you know, unless you Allen Iverson, you need to practice.
Practice.
And truthfully, like it's going to be cheap, just like, you know, the old Ethereum days to transact again. So it's like right now, it's like if, you know, if you were to tell like the average person to like, hey, you know, try out like Ethereum or whatever, you know, it's like it's too expensive for them to even, you know, mess with it. So yeah, exactly.
They can't literally cannot do the definition of the word try because it costs too much.
Yep.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, what do you do? Send an email and pay $25 for it? A test email? All right.
No, like, thank you.
That doesn't really make any sense. And then that's the thing that people don't understand. And look, you can say whatever you want about people that are already in the Ethereum system, right? Like we're relegated to using it because we have to. But I think people are underappreciating the simple fact that what just is about to happen is that you're about to take Ethereum and literally move it from one place to another. But when it touches down elsewhere, it's going to be upgraded to like the 10th degree. Yeah. So it's not going to be exactly the same. And I think people are really, really just not appreciating how much people like free money on top of that. Right. Those are two big. Yeah, those are two big items that I think people are really discounting. Just long term. Right. Just long term. We're not even talking about Pulse X. Like we're just talking about Pulse Chain.
Yeah. And I think like the average, like the mean return on a layer 1 is like 1700x in 2 years or something like that. So,
yeah.
I think it's like 16 something, 17 something.
Yeah. I mean, think about that. That's this is that is the opportunity of a lifetime, you guys.
It's funny you said that, right? So last night, right? Like
I was thinking about these X's last night, actually.
Absolutely, right?
Every night. How do you think I fall asleep at night?
Like I sat down with my wife, right? Like literally last night, like swear to God. And I'm like, all right, babe, you know, our life has changed the past year or two, you know, dramatically. I'm like, but you know, by the end of the year, like our life is gonna probably like 10x this, right? And she's like, what you mean? I'm like, hey, we need to be more humble than ever. We need to understand where we at, because we're gonna see additional zeros that we never seen before, right? And she's
Marco,
like,
why are
really?
you saying 10x? Come on, bro.
No,
Come on,
I'm,
bro.
I'm,
Don't get
He's
your
talking
bare
about
ass
the
out
end of
here.
this year, bro.
I'm just talking about my life.
okay.
I'm just talking about life. I'm not talking about profit, right? I'm just talking about life, right? Like
Yeah, I got you.
the lifestyle, right? And you know, so I sat down with her. I'm like, okay, babe, let's grab pen and paper. And I grabbed a calculator. I'm like, okay, this is our bag for this coin. This is our bag for this coin. Our bag for this coin. Like, what if this hits a penny, 2 pennies, 3 pennies, blah blah? She looked at it and she just couldn't comprehend like the number she was seeing. She's like, there's no way. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and you know what's gonna make this funny? I'm like, flip the paper over. I'm like, you just got a free copy of that for everything we're about to do. And her mind was like, are you telling me you could end up being in Forbes magazine? I'm like, yeah, probably, right? Like it's just stupid, right? Like it's just insane. And that's why, like, you know, in the end of the day, like we're blessed. Like everybody that's here right now in this chat and this panel, like we're blessed because not everybody could say they were really at the beginning of life-changing technology or it's like the next wave of things, right? Like who gets to say they were early in Bitcoin and Ethereum at the exact same time, right? Like we get to say that this time, right? With Hex, Pulse Chain, Pulse X, and
we
stuff
get to
like
say
that.
a little bit more than that.
Like, not
only do we have
Pulse X, the copies of those, you got Hedron, you got all the stuff that we're literally at the beginning of a pre-sale type of thing, right? Like this probably in the next couple of generations of our life, like friends and family would never ever get this opportunity ever again. Like
it's crazy.
Be proud of where you're at right now, guys. Like, and what you're learning and what you're getting. Like, it's mind-boggling.
We're so lucky.
I love your shirt, by the way.
Oh, yeah, this is great.
Yeah. That's clean as fuck.
Like,
clean AF.
It's scary. Like, it's scary. And it be times like, listen, I made great money recently and all that stuff in the past year or two. And the numbers, I did the calculations every night, and I'll be like, I'm telling everybody right now, you think you're ready for the numbers you're about to reach in your wallet? You're not ready. Like, I don't care anybody says they're ready, they're not ready. People who think they're going to see 10 million, no, I know, like 100 million, 200 million, 500 million, like you're not ready. Nobody's ready. And you just got to try to be ready, you know, do your best you can because it's coming. And when
the lifestyle points, though, we were mentioning earlier, if you aren't like, I understand this concept very well. I've always thought since I was an adult, I would be successful. Maybe not when I was young. But once I learned I had hustle and no one else did, I was like, okay, we're good. But anyway, the micro habits, guys, when I wake up in the morning, I'm super happy. And all I have to do is drink tea.
Like, I love tea.
That's all I need to do. Like when I drink my tea, I get a dopamine rush. I'm excited. That's not going to change because I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like I'm not pissed off when I'm waking up. I'm not like, fuck this until I'm rich. I'm like, this is so cool. I'm going to listen to someone and I'm going to have such a great time. Like I always bring people back to the halfway house when I was playing cards with all the dope heads. I remember having an amazing time. So if you can do that in whatever moment you're in, whether you're homeless on the fucking street, and there's some homeless motherfuckers that do not give a fuck, but it's not homeless is fucked, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, right? Like, guys, before we reach this wealth and this wealth transfer we're about to touch and all that stuff, like, if you think that's going to make you happy, it's not, right? Be happy with yourself now. Look in the mirror, figure out what's wrong right now, right? Figure out what you want to improve right now, stuff like that. If you could do that now, when the money comes, then you have a more clear conscious, clear decisions, clear making of whatever you want to make, and then your life could be even happier, right? But if you think you're miserable now and then you make a extra $10 million, that's going to fix things. No, you're going to wreck yourself quicker with $10 million. That's all, and the outcome is going to be disastrous, right? Like
you'll end up being more miserable because you lose hope at that point because you thought the money was going to be the answer and it's not.
Yeah, it's not. It's not, because I have friends that was way richer than I was 5 years ago, ahead of me. I look at them now and it's sad because their life is like going complete shit. They're not happy because they were never happy, and that's the case. And they're gonna be happy until they realize that, right? Like you got to be the person in the mirror. You got to figure out what's wrong. That's where the journals comes in. We spoke earlier in this stream, right? Like You got to have a journal. You need a reflection of what's happening in here, right? Like people think they understand here. No, dude, you need to write it down, reread it, right? Like we're so busy watching TVs and shows and, reading articles and all that stuff. But when's the last time you read an article about yourself, a video about yourself? When did you ever get to reflect about yourself, right? You need to do that. Like nobody knows something better about you than you, but most people don't even know themselves. Like know yourself. And then you can start fixing stuff, right? Like people think, oh, I get this new bag, this new watch, and this new car, I'm gonna be happy. How do you know if you don't know yourself, right? Did you ever have a reflection of yourself? Like, did you ever sit down like, okay,
Right.
am I happy? Am I really happy? And stuff like that. Unless you do all that, I don't care what you buy. You're not gonna be happy. It's temporary, man. It's just adrenaline rush. And adrenaline comes and goes, right? Like, it's sad, man. Just like reflect. People need to reflect. Do it now. You know. I tell my kids all the time, man. My kids are freaking young. I do that shit to them all the time. Like, how was your day? Reflect. What made you feel good? What didn't you like? Write in your little journal. They have their own journals too, and that's what it comes down to. Like, you got to do it, man.
I regret saying this in the chat already. 1000x this year, or I cut my wiener off. I don't even remember writing that.
You better start pumping.
Let's go, guys.
You better start selling some drugs.
Richard, that's a lot of pressure, bro.
Are you happy, right?
I'll do it, Rich. I'll fucking do it. No,
yeah, it's funny that somebody put that in the chat. Like, I randomly hit up Richard just to try to bother him. I'm like, are you happy, Richard? Like, are you happy? Just randomly, just to piss him off. But
it's like, what do you think? I love trolling him. Everything, like,
but that's what it comes down to, guys. It's reflection. Start reflecting. Reflect about yourself, and once you figure that out, the next step is it doesn't stop there. Start reflecting the people you surround yourself with. Right? Start reflecting that. If you don't see they're doing that themselves, then you need to walk away from them because they're gonna just bring you down. Like Wendy said, you're gonna be surrounded with folks that, you're gonna want to work out. They're gonna throw donuts in your face, right? You're gonna want to save money. They want you to come out and spend money, right? Like you need to start understanding who you're chilling with, right? That matters too. Like understand who's around you.
For sure.
Yeah, man. But
Well, yeah, guys, these are very important topics, right? It's kind of like what I tell people all the time. We already got the money. What are you gonna do with it, right? This is why you got Hexicans building stuff out in the real world to help us not get caught slipping. Because once you got the money, there's a million different reasons for people to come to you and try to extract it from you.
Yep.
And they don't have any qualms about it. It's not their money. It's your money.
Yep.
So you have to have the ability, right, to understand what's going on, which most people that just came into money do not have.
Yeah.
Because 2 minutes ago, your ass had $20 in your pocket. Now you got 20 million. It's not the fucking same thing, man.
Yeah.
Not by any means. So, as a person, you find yourself in a situation where you're really realizing that you have no clue, because the reality is most of us do not.
Yep.
Right? I mean, even people with millions, they don't have billions, so they don't know. Right? I mean, people, you have to realize that just because somebody has money does not mean they actually know anything about it. They just got it. Possession is just 9/10 of the law, as they say.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean a damn thing. So unless you are the one dictating what is happening with those funds, and unless you are the one making those funds grow, wash, rinse, repeat, you do not actually have a fucking clue.
Yep.
If you do not know how to protect those assets and protect yourself from getting sniped for your assets, then you don't know what you're doing. So you're best left finding a viable solution that is not looking to drag you through the mud. Because once you got a couple dollars,
Yep.
I'm telling you, everybody come out the woodworks, man. And it's like y'all been family forever, and you don't even know who this motherfucker is.
And I always tell folks too, right? Like I try to snap people out of it. Or like, if you got a certain salary right now, whether you make 60,000, 100,000, 70,000, 80,000, and you look at your bank account, you don't like where it's at and stuff like that. What the fuck it makes you think you'll be able to withstand and be able to handle $10 million, $5 million, $6 million? If you can't handle a average
10,
salary,
000.
right? Like if you can't do that, you have work to do. You have reflection. You gotta start reflecting, because as quick as you can make that money, it will disappear as quick as you got it. Like people don't realize that. Like you gotta start working now. Like work now.
Remember the first time I came into 6 digits, wasn't even trading. It was just hustling, whatever. And man, that money was fucking gone.
It's gone. It
Gone.
comes and goes easily.
Yeah,
Easily.
because what people don't realize is, well, hey, I made this money. What is next? They think that just because they made the money, that's it. That's the end of it.
Nope.
False. False as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, that's just step one. And it's really just step 1A. It ain't even really step one. And that is the biggest problem. Like, all right, as I'm staring at my desk right now, my screen, I see that the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, just signed a bill requiring financial literacy courses for new high schoolers. Now, folks, this is the year 2022.
Why now, right? It should have been there
Why
a long
now?
time ago.
Exactly.
It's a step, right? Congratulations, right?
Hey, man, but this
it's great.
While
That
it
should have been
sounds
done a
good,
long
that's
time ago.
right. While it sounds good, this is exactly why people need to step up to the plate and take accountability for their own welfare.
Mhm.
You want to sit here and let some third random motherfucker tell you what to do with yourself? Like, you're gonna lose, period, every fucking time.
And
Go ahead,
people
Wendy,
don't.
I'm sorry.
People won't take
Every
it. You know,
time.
people won't take it seriously anyway, right? Because like you got a nutrition class in school, but like, how many people eat healthy, right? So
Zero.
it's like, they'll tell you, hey,
And
balance
I've
the
never
budget.
taken one, so I don't even know how valid that shit is. But I'm pretty sure that number is zero.
Dude, I remember learning the alphabet. That was the last thing I remember learning that I still just like stick to this day. It was like the alphabet and like writing on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It's kinda
literally,
crazy.
like
I
I
don't even
remember they were like,
remember that.
these are the letters. This is how you do it. I was like, dope. I get that. Like, that's chill. And then they were like, now you have to write. And right when they started making you write in cursive, I knew it was bullshit. I was like, why would I ever have to write in this
Like
funny
that.
fucking way?
Never.
And I was fucking 6. I remember saying, no way. No
Damn,
way.
they were
this is
teaching that
real.
shit at 6. I don't think I was learning that at 6. I think.
Or I was third grade. Third grade.
Ah,
fourth
yeah,
grade.
like 9, 8. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right.
Third or fourth grade, probably. I can't remember the ages, but third or fourth grade.
Same difference.
And it was just like, I remember thinking, like, asking my bro, just being like, why? This is hard as fuck. And why are we doing this when we could be like doing whatever
else?
The thing I remember most is like, like they were like, oh, you can't use a calculator, and I'm like, why?
Oh,
Yeah,
you know what's
I'm like,
funny? I gotta tell you, yo, that used to kill me at first too. But then after I really like sat my ass down and started teaching myself math, I realized why math professors. Because it's math professors that say that shit. It ain't no regular math teacher. A regular math teacher gonna be like, hell yeah, use that calculator. Because they don't want to do no work. They don't want to see no work because they don't know the fucking work.
Remember, especially most teachers and stuff like that, they have the master. People forget this. They have the master book that gives them the answers all the time.
Right.
So, it's not like they understand what's relevant, what's new now. No, they're just reading off a book the same way you're reading off the book. They just got the cheat sheet. You don't.
They got the book with the answers. You just got the regular book.
That's it.
Well, how old were you when you realized that teachers were totally bogus?
When I dropped out when I was younger.
How long did that take?
I was
6th grade.
Nah,
I think it was 17, something like that, around there.
Not all teachers are bogus.
No, trust me. I had certain professors that changed my life too.
You figured out school was bogus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more what I mean.
I figured that out in 3rd grade.
In particular,
I figured that out in 3rd grade when I got in trouble for reading in class because that shit was a waste of my time. That's when I realized it was a waste of my time.
The issue with school is like the concept of school is good. It's just that what they teach you there is not like what you need to survive. Yeah,
the curriculum.
Exactly.
The curriculum is, if you look back in history, you'll discover that going back to like 1849 or 1852, you'll see that the main family here in the U.S., i.e. the Rockefellers, injected themselves in the manipulation of the education system and how it operates. This is when you first find mandatory attendance at schools.
Yep.
That shit didn't exist prior to that point in time.
Interesting.
So it's all of those little dynamics that people like to point out as, oh, you're being a conspiracy theorist. Like, nah, motherfucker, I just read because the information's out there. This is why you're unprepared and you think somebody's a conspiracy theorist because you don't actually like read anything. You just wait for somebody to give you the answers, like most people. This is why The successful people are the B, C, D students. Well, really the C and D students. And the good workers are the A and B students. So you guys keep it up. We're watching you. We're assessing your skills. Keep it up.
It's
Hey,
just funny, right? Like
there's so many
those are the
there's so many
facts, bro.
lies.
Those are
There's
the
so
I
many
have,
facts.
I have
lies that
so
they
many
teach you.
friends that they have PhDs, masters. I have one friend that's going for, I think it's second master or something like that in the health industry. All of them, right? They bragging all these years. Also, that's good. You know, I'm proud, right? Like, let's be real. That's not easy work, right? But they're all asking me for financial,
But bro,
advice,
if
all this and that, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that's why
none
it's
of them
like
know.
if I myself am not the
real
consummate
world shit is real
example,
world shit, you know?
but this is my point. If I myself am not the consummate example of how useless a PhD is, of how useless a master's
Yeah,
degree
you
is,
could buy a
of how
PhD nowadays,
useless a college
right?
degree is, because guess what? I taught myself math by my fucking self. I learned all these things I'm out here showing all of y'all by guess what? My motherfucking self, bro. Because ain't nothing I learned in school being used to educate anybody in this community, because guess what? It's pointless. You're not going to generate any fucking return from knowing that information. So what do you think that means? That means that all these motherfuckers that are so-called professionals, got these designations, all these title degrees, the reality is they don't know a damn thing about anything
Yep.
unless
Oh
they
my god.
learn from the market because it kicked their ass and showed them. That is a fact. There's very few people actually walking around this earth that don't manipulate the market and understand it, if that even makes sense to you guys.
Mhm.
Because we're talking about people that can sit here and call the market turn on a dime because they understand all the nuanced factors that are affecting capital flows and yada yada, because that is what moves markets, not economic factors and all this bullshit that they want to like throw at people. Because if that
Right.
was the case, then why the fuck is gold only at $2,000 in 1900?
Mm-hmm.
That's because of flows, folks. It's not because of what's going on in the world. Because if that was the case, the
Yeah.
shit should be at like $50,000 per ounce. You know what I mean?
Apparently what
Right.
gold is for, right? Like
But that's
if that's the
exactly the
case,
point.
like everybody
Yeah.
forget about Bitcoin, all this stuff. Everybody be fucking fighting each other for gold, right? Like
Exactly.
it's
But
funny.
that's
Like right
exactly the point.
now, look at Russia, right? I think Russia had like about $180 billion worth of gold, and they cannot sell it to nobody right now. Nobody wants to take it.
Well,
Yep.
I think I'm gonna be
You know?
honest. I think that's misinformation, and the reason I think that's misinformation is because what reason does Russia have to need to transact with people that they don't want to transact with?
Well, apparently because of since they've been suffering with
Right.
the rubies and all that stuff, they
No,
just
I
they're
know
trying to change
what the
things. But
story is. Well, this
yeah,
is what they do, because I know what the story is, and this is how they get. Because I know the point you're trying to make. You're not trying to
yeah,
make the point I'm trying to make. My point is that shit is fake for the following reasons. It's fake because they want to make it look like the little bootleg sanctions work.
yeah.
But Russia is not doing no deals with anybody in the West. That's exactly what the sanctions dictate. So what the fuck they using gold to do any deals for? Makes
Yeah.
no sense. You see, so it's knowing those little economic realities that help you discern bullshit on the headline from fact. Because a lot of people took that headline you're talking about as a, oh, we're winning type of thing. But it's actually nothing. It's really a nothing burger. Because at the end of the day, Russia isn't looking to do deals with Marco or me or Wendy's or Jim Rat, right? Because they're cut off from our economic system, so they cannot. And
Yeah.
we're not taking payment in gold, so kind of leaves us at a crossroads, right?
I wouldn't even know how to go about such an act.
Well, there you go.
I wouldn't. I would have no
Go
idea
to
where to
your
start.
bodega, give them the gold bar.
Right.
Like, yo, can you exchange this for me?
Be like, yo, can you chop this up for me? I need this refined.
Get a fucking
Thanks,
saw,
sir.
like
Right.
freaking like chunks
Like,
of
I
it.
studied finance for like
That's
9 months
funny.
straight, and I never found out how to do anything with your fucking shit product because all I hear is that it's a pain in the ass and that it costs too much money to transact. And I'm already like, okay, then why would anyone?
Yeah.
Right.
And not only
make it
that,
sound like it's
show up to a
pointless.
bank or someplace trying to sell 2-3 bars of gold. You're gonna have the feds at your door quick.
Yeah, for real.
Well, the reason why is
Quick.
because they're
Quick.
forced and obligated to report all physical,
They're like, how the
all
fuck a Brooklyn guy
KYC.
has gold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They report all those transactions. You go to an actual gold dealer, they're obligated to report those transactions. Now, I don't remember if it's an actual law or if it's one of those fake rules that they just suck it into following. I can't remember right now, but I'll look it up.
Yeah, it's funny because I think it was like just before Pulse Chain launched, right? I started like selling some assets to other assets, and cash I had at home, I started bringing it to the bank, and I was doing, I think it was like 60-70K deposit, and then the owner of, I guess, or the manager of the Chase Bank, they kept on coming and like asking me, "Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? I got to report this. I got to report this."
Right.
Like, fucking report it, bro. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care. Like, it's gonna go in your bank instantly into Coinbase. So I don't care what you do. Like,
Right. Like
report
that
whatever
shit is
you want.
only
Like,
passing
I have
through
nothing
here,
to hide.
bro.
Like, I don't give a shit. They're like, "Are you sure, sir? That's a lot of money." And they're like, "Oh, before you make this final move, are you sure you want to do this? I gotta have a business representative to show you all the different ways you could invest in a business." Blah blah. I'm like, send my fucking wire. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, enough.
You sure you want to put this outside our economic system? Because you
Enough.
really need to keep it here.
Fuck
Please.
outta here,
Are you
man.
sure? Are you sure?
Like,
Because we're gonna
send
have
this
to
shit.
report this.
It's
But
so
you-
weird. I've heard of people having that issue. I've never had that issue, and I've
In New
done
York, man,
crazy transactions. Oh yeah, New
depends.
York.
It
Trust me,
depends where you're at. Yeah.
they want the money to stay inside the bank, man. Like,
Yes.
they'll do it. They're not gonna tell you no, right? But
They
they're
can't,
gonna
brother.
try to fuck with your head to make you second thoughts. Because let me
That's
tell you something.
right.
A lot of people are weak minded, right? You go to make that, right, and actually, some people they decide not to go to Coinbase. They decide to fall to this fucking legacy trap, and they do it all the time. Not me, man. I like, send my shit now. Like, here we go. Like, I'm gonna wait 20 more minutes. If not, I'm going to another bank. Like, send that shit now. Like, they do it.
That's really all it is, too, bro.
It's funny, man. And to the point that when I used to work in the city, closer with Bryant Park, I know this guy named Alex. He was my guy. He used to take care of me. At first, he was a little suspicious, like, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, are you a drug dealer or not?" I'm like, "No, dude, I just do crypto, bro." Or like, and now, like, even when I used to always walk to the bank to do these wires, the manager, all the people knew me. Like, "Hey, Marco, hey, yeah, Alex is in the back. Don't worry about it." They didn't bother me anymore. They understood, like, no is no. Like, you got to leave me alone, right? But it was crazy, man. Yeah, Molly's hilarious, man. Yeah, dude, the ratio is trying to give me and the type of businesses they're trying to get. Hey, you could do this and 20 years. Because I'm like, I'm like, send my money now. Like,
I
don't
need
wanna hear
those
it.
X's now.
Oh.
Like, do it on the
And-
Peachtree commercial.
And the guy that took care of me all the time his name was Alex, right? And in the beginning, he kept on doing this to me. So I turned around. He's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Dude, I literally pulled out one of my accounts in my Sticker app. I was like, "All right, let me pull out one of my accounts." I slide my phone. I'm like, "This is why I'm doing it." He looked at it. He's like, "Is this real? Is this real?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "How?" I'm like, "It's crypto, bro." I'm like, "Send my money." You're like, come on,
Stop
man.
asking me questions.
And this was when Hex was, I think it was in one of the dips before Pulse Chain launched. It was like one of the dips there. So I was like, "Send my fucking money. I need it now, bro." Like, I ain't playing, man.
Should have called JG Wentworth, bro.
Right, JG Wentworth, bro. I was so mad, bro.
X's now. Yo,
Because like New York, they're a little strict. So at certain times you don't send your wire transfer. You gotta wait the next day. And I forgot what price we was at. I think it was like around 5-6 cents or some shit like that before we started with the 7 and the 18-13 cent pump. After that, like, I was like, "Send my fucking shit. Like, I'm buying the dip. Like, come on." Like, I was so mad, bro. But it happens, man. But these are the guys I want to make the financial decisions for you, right? Like, it's so silly, man. It's so silly. And 90% of them have no idea the percentages you get in crypto, right? Like, they get excited for a 2-3% pump. I'm like, that's it. Like, come on, like I'll be depressed if that's what I got. Like, come on, man. Like, I can't go back to that. I just can't.
It's like buying half a Bitcoin or like it was some Satoshis. Like the
Right.
same feeling. It's just like you're wrecked. Like, like if you're buying Satoshis, it's like, how long will it take those Satoshis? I love how they switched it back to the Satoshis. I hear Satoshis a lot more than I ever did when it was pumping. When it was pumping. Yeah,
That's-
like,
that-
oh,
that's
guys,
make it
remember, you
realistic.
can buy a little bit of big pump. Always has to pump. You fucking sell out. He always reminds everyone, you can buy a little bit of Bitcoin every morning. His most original content that his fucking brain could come up with. His absolutely intelligent brain is, guys, you can buy a fraction of a Satoshi. And I'm just like, every morning he says the same shit. He doesn't give a fuck. It's like,
What you talking
what the
about?
fuck?
You talking about?
Pump.
Pompeo,
the one I didn't
the
register the
guy.
name. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just
Anthony
I've
Pompliano.
known that dude since he
Mister,
tried to.
let's get relentless this morning,
All right,
guys.
so let me give you guys a history on Pomp because you guys.
Let's go.
He always says that shit, man.
So back in the day,
He
when I
used
was
to
a
be
young,
okay,
when I
But-
was no, he wasn't. When I was a noob and I was learning, he was the one guy that I knew didn't know shit because he just came out of nowhere doing the same crap he does now. It can't work on legacy finance people because they actually know shit. That's why it works on crypto or promise coin space people because the space is full of people that don't actually know shit. So he just kept it moving. Rightfully
Yeah,
so.
like you can't hate the hustle completely, but
Correct.
like,
And he fakes
No,
it
I
hard.
don't hate. Yeah, I don't hate the hustle. I just hate the guy.
I hate the fake. I don't hate the
Yeah.
hustle. I hate the fake because
and
that's what
he's
he
probably
spends what they
smart.
want.
He's probably
I don't.
smart as
I
fuck.
don't know anything about the guy. I just know he's not being genuine, and that's easy to ascertain, regardless of whether somebody's smart or not.
No, I told you before, dude. He was like all in Ethereum. He like held essentially to the bottom, got wrecked, and then he was like, because Ethereum did not dip 95%, he became a Bitcoin maxi. If he would have just held his Ethereum, he'd be way richer, like multiples richer than he is now. So the guy's a noob.
Yeah, he's a noob, and I remember the first time I was ever watching Bitcoin stuff, just getting excited, just learning, trying to read a few things, had no idea what it was. And then that's when I learned, because I was very in tune with YouTube because I did watch bodybuilding stuff constantly. So right when he put that Bitfinesse link up, not Bitfinesse, the BlockFi links up, that's when he started spamming. Like there was like a little time where he had like under 5K subs and like under 10K subs where he was like a little bit excited. And then the minute it went away, and I just read his tweets, and it just bothers me as a man. I'm like, dude, I know you have an engine upstairs, dude. Fucking use it, brother. Fucking use it. Like, say something fucking smart as fuck. Like, just say something, because these guys could be very powerful and helpful.
But you got to realize, Jim Rat, it's very important you realize this. People that reach that level of fame in our society do not reach that level of fame because their objective is to be helpful. It's very important we understand that because people really get swayed by these personalities that seem a certain way, not realizing that it's just an act. Watch them all the time, not when they're in character. This is how you ascertain who somebody really is. When somebody's talking to me offline, I'm giving them the same verbiage I'm giving their asses on fucking stream because I'm always the same motherfucker. Period.
Yeah. Richard's also the same. Like the same off camera, like literally exactly the same. It's crazy.
I've
Yeah.
never met him, but I would assume so because why would you not be? That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't expect Jim Rat. I know Marco ain't different. I don't expect Wendy's to be different. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't expect none of you guys to be who you're not when you're just over here talking shit on stream. Like that don't even make any sense.
Because some people are playing a character.
Yeah, and that's the shit. I ain't playing no character, so some people got me fucked up.
Whales, you met me in person many times. Wendy's, you met me. I'm the same guy. I don't change for anything,
But that's what I'm saying. Like
you couldn't have gotten to this point. You couldn't even have been here right now
in person. Like
you could have never made it like that though if you weren't that guy. Because no one would want to fuck with you.
Precisely.
Right.
You can only put on
just
an
have to be like rich on your own.
But here's the thing: you can only put on an act, but for so long until it falls apart. And we've seen that. We've seen that happen numerous times already.
Alex Saunders.
Yeah, that's just one.
Was that dude legit at any point?
No, never.
That's terrible, man. The guy was a scam. He was running like 10 different scams on top of each other. Like it was horrible.
Yeah, bro. And here's something I gotta remind people that still watch the full rules out there. Do not forget, the full rules never said a thing, and they were all scamming each other. That's why nobody ever said anything, because everybody's doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
Don't forget it.
Yep.
Because that's really how it goes down in the full rule community. This is why we don't take, right? This is why we talk about hex and nothing else. We talk about shit that works, right? This is why when we talk about Pulse Chain and Pulse X, we explain Pulse Chain and Pulse X, while they're projects specifically being made for the evolution of hex.
Yep. For a real product.
Hedron, finished product, not a project. So not even in the same camp anymore. So it was understanding these nuances about what's going on that set you apart from being a pleb and being a noob, right? Because a pleb is not a noob. A noob is somebody that's willing to learn, period. We talk about that often, but only because I think it's that important.
Noobs think for themselves. Plebs follow the leader.
At best, because if
At best.
they got a shitty leader, they're not following anything.
Well,
They just
they're
walking off
following
the cliff.
Saitama music videos right now. I
Right,
know
right.
exactly what they're doing.
Well,
Yeah, it's truthfully incredible, like the reality of the crypto space. Like if you really say it to someone, it seems like a giant everything in crypto is a scam.
Absolutely.
mhm.
Like everything other than like a couple things. Literally the only things that we talk about.
I like Motley's comment because that's exactly right. That's exactly right. They were all scared that their own dirty laundry would be aired. That's exactly why they said nothing about Alex scamming them, because it's just like I said, they're all scamming each other.
Yep. And they all got notes and screenshots and this of each other and all that stuff. That's why they say hush hush.
I mean, think about it. It's instant. It's the literal definition of instant gratification. Instead of putting aside 1,000, 5,000 into Hex and never having to do that again. I mean, these people are the literal prostitute of crypto or promise coins, whatever you want to call it.
True.
It's crazy, man.
What about this Terra Luna Bitcoin thing that I keep hearing about? I don't know. We could mention it real quick. Now, Alex
about it?
Summers is touting the Terra Luna 10 billion sell
I mean,
out.
some people. It's funny because like some Bitcoin maxis are mad about it, and then others are happy about it. Like it's just comical because like they were happy when like Michael Saylor bought a ton, but now like Do Kwon wants to buy $10 billion worth, and like some of them are mad about it. They're like, oh well, you know, they're bastardizing the Bitcoin to use it for DeFi or whatever. Like,
What are they actually using the Bitcoin for? Because I just want to know, just for my understanding.
reserves for to essentially have as like collateral for UST.
Yeah, they're using the value of the Bitcoin to
because they have
value
the Terra Luna, and then
so they
if
can
have
value
that
their the USD version or whatever.
Because it's an algorithmic stablecoin, so it like essentially you need like the same thing as like DAI. DAI has DAI exists because people like originally it was only Ethereum, but now it's like USDC and other stuff too. But like if you have an algorithmic stablecoin, same as liquid loans has pulse, right? Like you have to have something of value, otherwise like it's just air and it doesn't have any real value.
Go for it, fucking state, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you guys don't know Stakes and Apes, this motherfucker is cool as shit, and he's a hustler, and he's having a good time, and he is spreading the good word. You can guarantee that, and he is being honest about what he's talking about NFT stuff, doing stuff like that. I don't know anything about all that stuff, but he's being 100% transparent. He's in the Twitter groups constantly saying specifics, things that he wants to talk. He's not. For anyone that doesn't know him, and he's made me free NFTs and sent them to me, and they're fucking cool. I don't buy anything or anything, but he seems to me like a fuking dope ass.
Yeah, he made your ape yesterday. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then he sent it to everyone, and literally for no reason, Marco and Whales, for no reason, he said he made a free NFT, and he said get Jim Rat to 500 subscribers, and then if you subscribe and send a picture, I'll send you the NFT for free. I never talked to him or anything, and I'm just like, dude. Like that's kind of how I am too. Like I just shouted out this one guy. I want to bring him up real quick on. He's one of these YouTubers that's on the other time zones that I don't ever catch, but I'm gonna start watching his videos. His name's Hex Token or Token Hex, and I'm gonna pull up his because he gives legit information constantly, like right away. He was doing the testnet shit before everyone and posting about it and like jumping into it. And I'm going to say everyone in this chat. Go follow this guy. I'm going to pull him up right here. I haven't met him yet or talked to him, but I had a lot of the guys in the Twitter space saying that he's not getting enough views on his stuff where he should be getting a lot. Like they're saying like his shit's really, really good. He's diving into everything. He's going through really helping beginners learn detailed descriptions, all this shit right in your face. And if he's doing this on the low and I don't know about it, I want him to be doing it on not the low. So follow this guy, Hex Token. I'm going to have him on my show because I want to start watching his videos. I keep hearing that he's a good guy, so I'm just like, fuck it.
Yeah, I'll check him out.
Yeah, because that nice up-to-date information, guys, there's different kind of YouTubers, right? I'm just doing what I'm good at. Like, I just like to get people together, ask really good questions, try to figure stuff out. Some people are better at clicking the record button and doing a 7-minute video teaching you how to F with the test net. That would take me 6 days. I don't even know how to do that. So I'm not saying I won't do any recorded content at some point, but I'm just not there yet. I just don't know. Like, it just wouldn't be better coming from my mouth than theirs.
Yeah. But hey, fellas, really quick, I'm gonna have to go in a few minutes. I'm gonna have to just feed the kids, and then I have to get ready for a stream around 2:30. I have an interview with a couple of folks. So yo,
Where is that stream?
So it looks like I'll repost a tweet on Twitter. So it looks like it's gonna be about 2:30. It's two gentlemen that wants to interview me and stuff like that. So it'll be pretty fun, you know, to help people out. So
we'll send everyone. We'll send everyone there.
Sure. Out, bro.
I appreciate that. And then, guys, it was phenomenal. Great talking to you guys. Jim Rat, I love your work, man. Be consistent. You are consistent with this. So keep it up, man. It's growing little by little, and it's going to get bigger and bigger, man. So, you know, kudos to you. Whales, pleasure. Wendy's always. Chat's phenomenal seeing you guys in chat. You know, it's great. So we'll speak later.
Yeah, I'm going to be with Carito Stylist later. So make sure you guys.
Oh, yeah. That's around what time you're doing that one? I think it was like in 2-3 hours from now. At 3. All right. So my thing, I think, is at 2:30. So once I'm done, as soon as possible, I'll jump on yours right away. Just, you know, give you shout outs, you know, all that stuff. And, you know, you guys are one of my two favorite people to listen to anyways. You already know that. So
you already got it, brother. Take care of your business first, though, homie.
Yeah.
Waiting for you.
I'll see you guys in a bit. All right.
Later, man.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye, Marco.
Later, bro.
Thank you so much. Wow, Marco is just really nice to talk to.
We got some.
He's a solid dude, bro. He's a solid dude. Yeah,
he makes you feel like calm.
That's why I say, you know, like when you go to like an event or you know a meetup or whatever, and you meet like a good group of HEXICANs, man, you just start getting so bullish on our community.
Yeah, it changes your fucking life, bro.
Yeah, it's the secret sauce. Yeah, it's the secret sauce, bro.
It really is. Yo, I mean, for me, it was a difference between thinking I was alone and realizing that I was really just driving myself crazy.
Yep.
Because here we are, there's a complete network of people that you can rely on for anything, damn near.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, yo, how many times? Like, this is just an extreme example, because this is just, you know, an extreme example. But you have had people here that have been in dire financial situations that, even though they're allocated to Hex and probably shouldn't have been, the community found a way to reach in their pocket and help these individuals out. No question asked, man. No question asked.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. Yeah, thanks. I was multiple times.
I see it every week. It's like they won't let anyone fall. But at the same time, they know who's genuine, guys.
Correct.
And you have to be working your fucking heart out. And most people don't run into dire situations, but some people do. Yeah. When I say dire, I mean, I don't know specifics about anything we're talking about.
Well, it's just financial. Just financial.
Yeah, but like people can get in car accidents and shit and their legs get ripped in half.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
we've
that's
seen
what
that also. We've had that too, right? We've had people end up in serious medical situations needing financial help, and also same result.
Medical stuff. I mean, we've seen like crowdfunding. I know some people funded that guy on the West Coast. He had like some kind of like food truck or whatever, like a bunch of HEXICANs.
Oh yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah. That was like a couple months ago, literally.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And they bought him the food truck. Yeah, and then so then they owned like
I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. And they own like a couple percent or whatever, but literally like funded this guy's dream. You know, his dream was to have a food truck, and yeah, it's crazy, cool stuff.
Just like that. He just put it out there, and people were like, "Fuck yeah, dude." That was it.
And the honesty and transparency thing is the most important, because like you both said, everyone knows a bullshitter. And if you pop on the scene and ask for help, we're going to tell you to go fucking die. Literally, we're going to tell you to go fucking die. But if you've been in the trenches trying to help, trying your best, whatever that means to you, people know. All right. People know, and they know it because they know that there's nothing they can say to you. You got to put yourself in a position where anyone can walk through your front door and say anything and it won't bother you. And that's what Alex Saunders and all those guys didn't do. They just fucking walked themselves into a corner. That's exactly what Pomp's doing. Walk yourself into the corner and go die. Because no one wants to you can't even leave your fucking place without people like me being like, dude, what the fuck?
I mean, it's just it's just about integrity, man. I mean, it's like people that want to learn how to speculate, right? Because I don't talk about speculation, right? People seem to think that allocating money to something that works 100% of the time is speculation. I think it's not. That's just me. So I'm gonna go on ahead and say it's not speculation. So that's why I do what I do, right? I'm not out here showing people how to trade options or shit like that. Like, for that type of shit, it's a whole nother conversation, and that ain't free, homie. That took me a decade to fucking figure out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you paying for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
just like the gym rat stuff. Like, I'm like yeah,
and that's what I'm saying.
I'll give you a fucking tip here and there. Of course. You want to come on stream and ask a question? Be my guest. If you want to get shredded like me, pay me.
It's easy, but you got to pay me.
Because I know only people that pay are going in.
They're going to be serious.
They're going in, and I'm like, let's do this. Like, I'm ready.
Giving
I'm ready
away for a fucking year.
Your time has value too, though.
Well, of course. But just look at the end result. I'm not even going to talk about the value, like the time factor, right? Because if you got to explain that, then I think we shouldn't even be talking. If I can explain that to you,
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, come on, bro. Like, what you think this is? This ain't Comedy Central, man.
You know what was Comedy Central when everyone was giving me a hard time about doing the pool? I thought that was Comedy Central, the pool thing, because I was like, guys, look, I'm a wrecked pleb, and they're saying I can get 45% or whatever the fucking I can't remember.
People will always talk shit about.
It's an amazing opportunity for me. It was like my favorite thing that Motley messaged me about, and I was the most grateful ever. And everyone told me like, I was like, what? Mm-hmm. They're just, you know what I'm saying. People are fucking crazy.
Yeah, they're fuckheads, bro. It's simple. Think about it.
It's one of those things, man. I mean, it's just one of those things. It was like, okay. I mean, we were doing it anyway. We were going to have a top wallet regardless. So then we're like, okay, let's we can, yeah, exactly.
You think that I brought them over
realize,
the phone? You think I got that max multiplier for them? They were just begging me to get in so I could
get
it. No. They were saying, Scott, you're our friend. This is our friendship. Let's do this together. It will work beneficially to both of us. And I said, sounds good to me.
Right. And I mean, like, people think, that, like, some people were like, well, what is, why? And it's like, you can go into the chat even today. There's like 10 questions. Like, people are asking me, I was like, I'm flying today, bro. Like, let me pass it off to Vince when he wakes up. But, like, there's people asking constantly questions every single day. That's time for us. And we're still working on stuff. We're working on like multiple projects, so it's like,
I mean, nobody's just doing one thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I find time to constantly be on streams while building in the background.
Yep.
And I still constantly get shit thrown at me.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is like you're gonna have haters if you're doing anything. I mean, like, as far as the pools go, I mean, we've gotten like probably like hundreds of thank yous at this point. So like the people flapping their lips. Number one, they weren't in, and so they are getting essentially diluted.
Number one, they can't do math, my man. Number one, they can't do fucking math.
Yeah.
Number two, they weren't in.
That's the thing. I was like, do you want to buy at a lower price or a higher price? I mean, the choice is yours, but hey, whatever. I mean, I wish, like the years I was in crypto that I could get a deal like that.
Look, man.
No one ever did it for me. No one ever did it for me.
Is laugh.
It feels like a miracle from God.
Yeah, crypto.
No, but even the smaller opportunities for guys that have been grinding it out. If I can get 50% bonus just because some guys are being helpful to other people, it's like that could change everything for me.
In shorter time frame.
Yeah, you don't
in
even
a shorter time.
Exactly.
Because, I could do my projects faster.
Percentage. So we're talking about like Wales was saying, it's like what 1600x in what like 1.4 years. Now imagine times 2. because you have twice the amount of coins. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where, it's just it's comical, crazy. But it's nice to be able to help people, and like the thing is, you win together, right? Like it's mutually beneficial.
Yeah, yo, when I went to Vegas, bro, and I met all these people. I was like, oh man, we can't lose. We can't lose.
You should have came out this time.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make it, man. Work is fucking with me, but I'll be done with that soon. I think as soon as PLS launches, man. I, I
Are you gonna come
forgot.
out to PulseCon? You think? In
Yeah,
September? Okay.
I think I'll be done with that. Yeah. So I had no idea. I didn't check on my wallets, right? Like for the PLS sack, like I just sacked whatever I sacked. Like I really wasn't paying attention. And this is just a funny story. But I checked on my wallet addresses yesterday, and turns out I sacked way more than I had anticipated for PulseX. So my expectations were off by like 90%.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really about 10x. I mean, it's fucking crazy. I don't know how the fuck.
Well, when you look at the PulseX colors, bro, they looking like Christmas. That's all I gotta say.
Yo, word
Looking
up.
like Christmas. Man,
Yo,
it's so funny. I'm one of those like what if guys, you know, like everybody's always telling me like, yo, you got to stop that, But I'm just thinking like,
You think it's a
I'm
little
thinking like,
negative?
yeah, it's a little bit like that, you know. But I'm just thinking like, man, I should have went in bigger. You know. It's one of those things. So I'm like,
You know
fuck,
what I do?
every day.
You know what I do to myself?
I know exactly what you do because you're doing it right now.
Well, no, not so much that, but yes, that helps. But what I tell myself, let me rephrase. What I tell myself is that I did what I could, right? Because sometimes that's all you can
That's
do.
true.
You
That's
know
true.
what I mean? And if that's what you was comfortable doing at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and you still got a sizable bag, you can't be mad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I can't. No, I'm not at all.
Because otherwise, it's always gonna hurt. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any way around that, bro.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah. And like, I'm happy with my bag. I thought I was gonna have to make some swaps for PLSX, and I ain't gonna have to do nothing. So I'm ecstatic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy. I don't think I'm gonna have to do anything. I'm just gonna be happy to see people dump both their PLS
Oh
and
man, it's crazy.
PLSX to get both, because that's what's gonna happen to some degree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's more
it's going to be so
PLSX, and the
interesting.
people are going to go to Pulse because they weren't even involved.
That's right.
That's incredible.
But like,
I didn't think about
You're gonna
that.
have people in both buckets.
Yeah, you're going to have people like, I mean, you're going to have people selling. Okay, so imagine this. Imagine you.
Yes,
Okay,
we do.
this is the crazy thing. So imagine you found out about Richard Hart and Pulse Chain and everything like that after Pulse Chain had stopped the sacrifice. And so then when PulseX came, you're like, oh, awesome, and you get a big bag of PulseX, right? But you don't have any Pulse. Now let's say you even did the pool with us, right? And so you got a really good price. You literally got a price better than 99% of the people that invested in Pulse. So you literally bought that low, right?
And
But
Hex was
now-
35 cents day one when the pool did it all.
Exactly. So like you're winning on top of winning. But now think about it like this, right? If you take that low number that you bought at and the ratio starts moving against you and you're like, well, I don't have any Pulse. So there's like a giant green candle or a red candle on PulseX and a green candle on Pulse, and you trade your low bought coins for expensive Pulse. Like, is that really like a good move just because you didn't have any Pulse, or should you just have been patient and maybe bought Pulse when it dipped, or bought more PulseX and then waited for the ratio to come back the other way? Like it's just, there's going to be so many people that are making like terrible mistakes that that's just the way trading goes.
Yeah, long term they're gonna hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Because the funniest thing about trading is the following: the novice knows so little that they're concerned with every literal move that they make, right? And what that does is that it causes this level of indecision that the average person would have during a test taking session. There's a lot of people that commonly have issues taking tests, right? Well, they'll pick an answer and then they'll come back and they'll change it. All their fucking answers.
Mm-hmm.
It's common. And this is the same thing when it comes to trading, right? And then ultimately leads to decision fatigue, et cetera, et cetera. But long story short is your first decision is typically the best decision you're ever going to make throughout that decision set. Because, yeah, you have the freshest frame of thought at that point in time. You probably took into account all these factors in an intelligent fashion, and then you weren't letting anything else fuck with your thought process at that point in time. But then what happened? Well, what happened is that you realize you didn't take everything into account, or you missed this one thing that probably doesn't even really matter, right? But you're making it a bigger
Mhm.
deal than it is, right? Like, because initially you didn't even take it into account. So
Right.
does it really even matter, right? So that's one of those things you got to weigh. But it's not about second guessing. You see, when you second guess, that's not the same thing as missing a variable and then reassessing.
Right.
So people conflate the two. So it's very important to not do that, because that's when you get analysis paralysis, and that's
Hmm.
akin to overthinking, right? Because you're
Sure. Sure.
just,
Sure.
yeah, you're trying to like make all these decisions, and you're still trying to make one decision.
Right. Yeah.
So it gets crazy, bro. It gets crazy. Just one of the many ways in which you can get crazy. And when it comes to making money, less is more.
Oh, absolutely. I've talked about that with my friends all the time. It's like, you could say, oh, okay, this looks good. There's this reason for, pumps. You could say like, oh, the TA looks good, the fundamentals look good. But like the less times that you trade, the better chance that you have of actually winning, right? So if you're waiting for that good opportunity and the good opportunity comes and you go in, that is so much better than saying like, okay, this is like a kind of good opportunity. Let me take that and then see if I can sell a little bit higher, and then I'll have even more money to go in when there's a really good opportunity. Like the more steps that you add, the more things you have to get right, and it's like exponentially harder, and
Yep.
you're probably going to make a mistake.
It's like software, right? The more pieces are connecting, the more attack vectors exist,
Yep.
because they're interconnecting pieces. They're not holistic. They're not integral. So that means that there's room for interjection, right? Attack, insertion, excuse me. And these are the kinds of things that you got to take into account when you're doing this stuff, because this isn't like regular stuff. This is now crypto. This is a whole different beast, right? And there's value behind the actions that you're taking. So you have to really think about what you're doing, why you're doing it, and look at the people that are billionaires already. What steps did they take to get there? Odds
Hmm.
are, they didn't do 30 backflips to get there.
Yep.
Think about it. Look at
Very
the guy.
true.
Well, he literally told us what he did.
Yeah.
Bitcoin to Ethereum, and now he's in Hex.
Yep. And then pulse chain, like it's
Pulse
like
chain.
you're talking like literally like 5 to 10 trades the guy's ever made in like a decade, and
What
he's sitting on like the biggest amount of money.
what did Ethereum look like before Hex came out? Like, what was the sentiment in the community with Ethereum and Bitcoin at that
when
moment? Just put me back to that moment, if you can remember when it was coming out.
when it was coming, I mean, like, so like the everything had bottomed, and when Hex came, well, so I guess it was like figuring out the new use case of Ethereum, because like there was many different, like it's all like figuring it out, like what are we going to use Ethereum for, kind of thing. And so like at first the dApps were like all over the place. There was like decentralized computing, there was all kinds of like weird stuff, Chainlink came out, and the Oracle thing, Dai came out, and so that was like, I guess that was like kind of like the beginning of like, oh, maybe like there's some like decentralized finance stuff that we could build, but it's nowhere near to where it is today. Like, I mean, there's new stuff that's coming out all the time now. Like people are coming up with ideas. Like now you have like nodes per service, and that's been like the fad in the last like year or so. So it's just like money Legos, and like people are just trying to figure it all out. But like Hex was like kind of the first real DeFi product. I mean, I guess you could say that Dai might have been the first, but Hex was its own kind of thing. And then Uniswap came out, and like we started using Uniswap first because there was no real like centralized exchange that was trading Hex. So we actually like needed Uniswap, and Uniswap needed us. It was like a mutually beneficial situation. And then using Uniswap before it was popular, like we all just were like, oh, this is awesome, this is the future. So and then obviously Ethereum had the first run of NFTs, the Crypto Kitties, and all that stuff, and people don't even realize like CryptoPunks was last generation. It just got popular again. So then there's been that. So it's just these waves, and like maybe somebody figures out something else for Ethereum, right? Like you know, some other app, and then those get popular. Gaming, right? So it's just constant like waves of, you know, people building stuff, and you know, the public catching on, and hype cycles and all that kind of stuff. It'll be
Guys,
the
I
same
hit
thing
500
for Pulsar.
subs.
Congrats.
Thank you. It took 22 and a half days, and I streamed every single day. And I
Awesome.
waited every single stream. I wait till I get 100 likes, and in the beginning, it took 6 hours. And now it's taking less time, guys, which is super cool because I do have shit to do as well. But let's see where we're at. We 86 likes, guys. Pump me out a little bit. Hit it up. I don't know why I have OCD to the max. I cannot think straight unless that thing goes over that number for some reason, because I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, it's been a crazy ride, guys. For fuck's sake. I remember watching Motley stream for the first time. No idea who this guy was, no idea anything. And just like I say to this day, the only reason I got into Hex crypto was because of the attitude that Motley had. It was his attitude. I was attracted to his attitude, and I knew he was authentic, and I didn't care what he was teaching me about. I knew he was not lying. I could tell right off the bat, guys. Get better at figuring out who's lying to you right away. Don't wait around for months. You don't have to. You just figure it out. Ask some people. Don't just because someone gives you an opportunity or they're saying this, that, and the other. Just please find guys that are being honest, that are letting open form content like this is a great way to like vet if people are honest, because you won't see people doing this if they're not, because eventually someone will call them the fuck out. And if they're lying, it's going to be apparent to everyone. So we're able to be on here because we don't have anything to hide. It's just like you can ask any question other than OPSEC related, and we're just going to answer it. Simple as that. Any book recommendations, guys?
I don't read too much anymore. Honestly, I know that there's a bunch of really good ones because I have read some good ones. I mean, the one that sticks out the most is like Rich Dad Poor Dad, but it's kind of funny because like when I read that, I had already come to all the conclusions that he, you know, that's the thing is like, yeah, I mean, if you're like, I pretty much like read like mostly like finance blogs and websites and YouTube videos and stuff like that, and if you just go down that path of like finance, you'll, just like Whales said, he figured out math. You'll figure it all out for yourself. You know, but books are cool. Like if you like reading, then yeah, there's going to be some good books that'll, you know, potentially enlighten you, especially if you're like starting out on a journey. But like, you know, I never watched like, you know, like a lot of people tout like Dave Ramsey and all these people, and I'm like, man, by the time I actually was like, by the time I actually like was like, oh, okay, let me see, because so many people, you know, were like, oh, you're into finance, like blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy is like a furu. Like, this is terrible. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so
like Susie Orman and shit.
Yeah. It's like a joke.
Oh my God.
It's a joke. So like, I think in general, like, you know, unless you know, some really smart people give you like good book recommendations, like sometimes it's better to just like do the castnet thing where you're just like listening to a lot of stuff, and eventually you figure out what's bullshit and what's true. Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yo, look, I spent a lot of time listening to shit on Bloomberg, Bloomberg Radio, Bloomberg News, Bloomberg articles, you know, just all whatever Bloomberg content, because at the time that was really the premier financial content provider, you know, for pretty much the globe when I came on the scene. And this was 10 years ago, you know. So anything that they produced that was definitely, you know, recession related, which was typically interest rate related, which was typically derivative related, I would consume. And this is how I ended up learning all of this stuff that I now am like a fucking expert in, just because it's been a whole decade of reading the same thing.
I don't think I've heard you talk about like where you think we are like macro wise. What would you say?
I could tell you. So this is my personal this is my personal professional perception of where we are economically speaking. We
Mhm.
never left a recession, and we've just been in a hyper stagflationary environment ever since 2008, 9. That's what I think. And I think that the data proves that to be true. Because you look at price inflation, asset inflation, all the inflations are fucking running sky high hot. But what's not running sky high hot? Your fucking wages. 1 + 1 is 2. You're welcome. I'm not a PhD, but I could be if I wanted to be. And that's how you know school is bullshit. You don't need a white paper to realize this shit, man. I just broke it down in a sentence, right?
Inflation definitely in the last like couple of years has gotten
Oh, a couple of years, bro. We'd be
ridiculous.
lucky if it's only a couple of years, bro. I'm talking about
Yeah.
they printed 40%.
No.
Man.
I know. I'm saying,
You know what I'm
saying
saying?
like when you're obviously seeing it like
Mm,
year to year because usually they
I got
gradually
you.
do it. So you're
I
like,
think you mean
you
the
see,
hot inflation.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
But even like it's kind of weird because like nursing, man, the pay has gone up a lot.
Oh, but that's because there's no nurses, bro. Like there
Yeah, that's
hasn't
true.
been
Yeah.
nurses for a
Yeah,
long. Like even I
it's
know
been a big
this.
shortage. Yep. It's funny
Yeah.
because they're still talking like I mean they were offering me 9,000 a week to come
Hold
back.
on, this was pre-Rona, by the way, my man. This ain't even Rona related. I'm talking about pre-Rona.
Wait, talk about the
Yeah.
nursing scene right now. I want to know about that. That's interesting.
It's crazy. It's crazy right
Yeah,
now,
there isn't
man.
much more,
They're
bro.
throwing the pay is going like the pay had spiked and it was getting ridiculous. I mean, there was literally like I'm on boards and like there's literally nurses buying supercars. I'm like,
What
oh my
Lambo?
god. Yeah, no, seriously, like they were buying supercars and I was like,
After the
holy
MCAT,
shit,
bitch.
unbelievable. Because yeah, and like I mean, I was making I think when I quit
MCAT,
and
though.
I
Nurses take
quit
some other shit. My bad.
I quit like a little over a year ago and I was probably making like 45 an hour, something like that.
Nice.
I seen a girl that I used to work with probably about like a month ago and she told me that they're paying like 70 now. And I was like, 70? What the fuck?
Oh,
Ready
100%.
to go back to work.
My tenant,
Yeah,
my
it's crazy.
tenant is
I
a.
said that like 70 is not enough to even like tempt me to go back, but
Oh, okay.
but like they were talking about like for doing like a travel nurse position, I've seen 9,000 a week. It's not all the time, but like yeah.
It's
So for
basically
9,000 a
all the
week,
time if you're willing to
yeah,
travel.
if Hex dips anymore, I might just take one of these 9,000 a week contracts and buy the dip. And you know, if we go too much lower, there ain't gonna be, you know, I'm gonna buy it all.
Yeah, like there's not gonna be much left for anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't want guys like Wendy's going on the trenches again, guys. Get your bags ready. These guys are fucking locked and
There won't be overtime for anybody else. That's how I am.
So you
Yeah,
wanna
like-
know what I realized? You got people that have been around like me, Wendy's, Motley, and you know many others that you know stream, and the message is always the same. Buy, buy, buy,
Mhm.
buy, 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 buy,
and work hard.
and work. Yeah, because I'm
Dude,
still.
I was
ain't
I
never
was
stopped
the hardest worker, dude. Like if you ask anybody that worked with me, they'll all tell you like, yo, he
Bro, you
was
just
a
say you ready to
madman.
go back to work, man. Clearly,
I am.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
I don't,
Okay.
like, I don't want to, but it is
opportunity
something.
presents itself. You got to.
Yeah.
You
No,
know
but
what I mean?
Wendy's
That's
is
one
a
of those
sniper,
things.
is what he's saying. He's
Yes.
a fucking locked in. He doesn't
right.
give a fuck. Like he will do what it takes to be number one, and that's what he's basically telling you. Like, and I'm not number one and whatever. Everyone's got a different field or whatever, but like
He's
these
addressing his
guys
issue
are
though.
going hard.
But this
as
is
fuck.
that's the whole thing. His issue is his success, not our success, right?
Well,
And
I'm
this
gonna
is
tell you one thing. You're never gonna hear me bitch about prices going down. You're gonna
No.
see me like start salivating. So
yes.
it's just kind of comical. Like the people that are bitching about price going down, it's like the literal opposite of what they should be doing.
Yep.
They should be like, yeah, guys, enjoy. You know what? You should get another Lambo, and you know, so like they could get better
Please keep
prices.
selling.
It's like,
Yes.
yeah, it's like, are you wanting to buy? Like, so when I see that, what I'm like, kind of like what I'm thinking is like, okay, so you're saying that you want it to be $1 or $2 so you can sell.
That's
You
right.
know, because if you were a buyer, you want prices to be down. So it's just kind of funny. You got to think about these people. These people are saying, "Oh, it's bad optics for hex flexes." It's like, "Oh, because you want to sell. Because you want to sell."
I mean, imagine being
They
the
need
guy.
to sell.
Imagine being the
Yes.
guy having something to say about the motherfucker selling some of his profits, taking some of his profits at 10,000x. or 2000x or 3000x. Imagine being that guy. Imagine how stupid you must look with all that makeup on your face.
Mm-hmm.
You looking really
Yep.
fucked up.
Like a clown.
Real fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the right face. That's the right
Mm-hmm.
face, right? Because that's exactly how people look. That's how commies look all the time, bro. Ain't no different.
I'm such an aggressive person in general that, like, when I say aggressive, I'm not like fight anyone or anything, but just like very hyper motivated, extremely energy, lots of energy.
Yeah.
You know, I get worried because I wasn't from the toxic internet world. I never have been. This is new. Like, I understood dating
It's crazy,
on
right?
Instagram.
How some people take the internet so seriously. Yo, it's wild.
But I get worried because I like you get sucked into it too, because I don't, and it's not about me being smart or anything, but you just get sucked into some stupid shit. And guys, I'm sorry. I want to be as open and honest as possible. Like, I'm trying to be a little less shit talky, and I'm not kidding. I mean,
A little less
I'm
shit
just
talking.
trying
But
because I was in
bro, that's all.
this
That's all
morning.
that some people have. That's all that some people have. That if you cannot have high level discussions like we've had in on this show like multiple times, right? If you can't do that, all you have is shit talk.
Yeah. Not really adding value to society, are you? You ain't really adding
Right.
value to nothing. You just a pestilence. You just
Mhm.
a pestilence. You know, that's not really adding value. That's not pumping bags, bro. That's bullshit. Explaining to people how to play the game is what makes them successful.
Right.
Right.
And like, and when does anybody that's like providing real value, like when do they ever tell you that they're pumping your bags and that they're going to, you know, do all this stuff? Like, if you have to tell me that, then that tells me you ain't doing shit.
Doing shit. Yeah, I don't really need an advertisement. Nobody hears
Where
what else.
where are the
What he
fruits?
doing?
Yeah, where are the fruits?
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
where are the fruits of what you've done?
Yeah, like just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Nobody needs a
You
fucking
need a cookie.
promotion.
you need
You
a
want a
cookie.
pat in your ass or something, bro? Just get the shit done.
Yep.
I need to make sure that I stay friends with the people that are thinking like this. Not just thinking like, you know, trying to be honest and transparent, because I have to do that moving forward. Because just like anyone else, and I'm not saying in the Hex crypto world, that's how I would become popular online, but I'm really falling in love with just doing stuff online because I never learned about
This
it.
isn't about online, bro. That's the confusion, right?
Well,
We
you know
talking
what I
about
mean, like the
we talking about real
streaming
life
stuff.
success here.
Yeah.
We ain't talking about no online shit. So there's no confusion. You understand?
Yep.
It's not even the same conversation.
Yep.
We're pointing out how you follow success, because if people want success, they got to attain it themselves. It's not by somebody's definition.
That's true. That is very true.
Right? And if as a community we want to succeed, then we define it. One person does not define it, sir. We define success as a community.
Mm-hmm. And like, let me be clear. I don't think that like every single stream, right, has to be like high level discussion, or it's like, you know, you like turn something on, you're like, oh, these guys are talking about UFC. I gotta turn this shit off. Like, this isn't providing value.
Yeah, Cabana has
It's
a great
not.
show.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Cabana show is super fun. I've been on that show plenty of
yeah,
times.
it's the most
So
popular
it's not
one,
that.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's not that. It's like if you're going at people, or if you're like trying to start shit, you know, with people in the community, it's just not a good look. You know, like I had people messaging me like, oh my God, you know, like this is so off-putting, you know, and it's like, I'm like, bro, if someone's coming at me or my people's, like, I'm a defend, because that's how I am, bro. That's how I was brought up. You know, like, I'm not a bitch. Like, you're not gonna disrespect me, you know. But at the same time, like, I also don't want to get in these, you know, kinds of conversations. Like, it's like, provide something valuable. And like I said last time I was on stream, it's like, the day that I get on a stream and I'm not providing it, like no one's learning anything, is the day that I never stream again. Because like that's the only reason I'm here, is to, you know, to like, you know, even the playing field and stuff, because, you know, this stuff is complicated, and I don't want to see people, you know, get wrecked and make mistakes that I made, you know, in the past. So that's why I talk about them, right? That's why I talk about exploits that I've seen. That's why I talk about the risks of, you know, doing certain trades without knowing them, and liquidity farming and all this stuff. Like, that's why I've talked about all this stuff. So the day that I'm not providing any value is the day that I never go on stream again.
It's about keeping yourself accountable, bro. It ain't about nothing else. We're here to add value, and we're not here to do nothing else. If anybody has some other mission in mind, then they need to take that shit elsewhere. That's all. It's very simple.
That's a good point as well.
No issue there, right? I mean, they shouldn't be one because that shit ain't pumping our fucking bags, bro, and that's just a fact.
Well, it's doing the opposite, Wales.
Precisely.
And you know that.
Precisely. And that's all the conversation's about. It ain't about nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, dips do bring out the worst in people. I mean,
Yeah,
it is true. It is true. You see who, you know, who's really down and who's not, because it's like, look at who's complaining on Twitter. Look at who's, you know, attacking people and stuff. It's like, you know, there's have you ever seen any of, like, you know, have you ever seen Wales complain about the price being down? No, he's like, man, look at this. Like, look at all the metrics, right? We're oversold, you know, like this like historically speaking, which is, you know, really all you have to go off of, is like a great time to, you know, dollar cost in to buy, right? You know, you're never going to hear any one of us complaining.
Pretty much. Nothing to complain about. Shut the fuck up and buy.
Yep. It's time to go to work, you know? And it's like, man, and the people are still working. I'm trying to tell them, I'm like, guys, like, it's an opportunity. If you don't see that, you're going to regret it in the future. You know, when the price is $2-3, you know, imagine like splitting hairs about, you know, 10-12 cents, you know, whatever. Like, come on.
Yeah, well, I got a story about that. I got a coworker that she became a Hexican. She's a Hexican, whatever. She owns Hex. She's staked. And guess what? She tells me all the time, man, I wish I would have bought more when you told me about it. Because guess what? She wish she would have bought more when she told me about it, because when I told her about it, because it wasn't even a cent at the time. It was barely a cent. Her ass could have been retired by now.
Yeah, and people will do the opposite, right? Like, people do the opposite. So you'll tell them to buy sub 1 cent. They see it at 50 cents and they say, okay, like that's always how it is, right? The crypto bull market or crypto bear market, nobody hits you up. Nobody from your personal life will hit you up and say like, hey, I'm ready to buy crypto. It's always when SHIB is pumped, you know, a quadrillion X, and the market's going, yeah, the market's crazy and stuff. And then everyone's like, well, can I buy now? And you're like, well, do you remember I told you about Hex like 2 years ago when it was like 3 or 4 zeros before it, you know, and now you're wanting to buy it like 40-50 cents. And then, so then they buy, right? And then the price dips 80%. And you're like, hey, this is a great buy, because if you buy here and you do the same amount that you did last time, you're lowering your cost basis by so much, a huge percentage, right? And and people don't get it. Like, they just don't get it. And I talk about this all the time, because like this literally happened with my sister. She finally wanted to buy Ethereum. I think it was like maybe $1,200, you know, in the last cycle. And it goes all the way down to $88. And I'm like, yo, I'm telling her like probably like 120. I said, yo, you really should start buying. Like, I don't know how much lower it's going to go. Maybe it goes to like 60. I don't think it could possibly go below 45, you know, because we were at 45 for a while. There's like a lot of support there. I was like, I don't think that's possible. So I was like, I think you should just start buying now. She didn't buy. And guess when she hit me up again? 4,000. And you know what she said? She said, I really should have bought. I said, yeah. I said, that's your $1,200 Ethereum doesn't look so bad now. Now it looks like you're a great investor, right? Because it basically is like a 4x, right? And a 4x in, you know, 3 or 4 years is great, you know? Like, normally it's like great. So I mean, yeah, it's just crazy. People don't, you know, they can't like see, they can't see their emotions. They can't see the, you know, the opportunity. They can't fight them.
Yeah.
And for all you guys that are new in the chat and you don't know who these guys are, you need to listen to them. You pretty much need to listen to every word they say, or you're going to get wrecked. It's almost that serious. It's like, really, like, don't go. These people.
I honestly, I think getting wrecked is like a part of crypto. I think like everybody gets wrecked, but you're going to learn. I mean, yes, can you avoid some things by listening to us? Yeah. But you know, you're gonna like you're gonna hit some L's in crypto. Yeah. Like, it's part of it, right? You're gonna buy 50 cents and it's gonna drop to 10 cents, or, you know, drop to 2 cents, and you're like, oh, maybe I should dollar cost it in, right? Remember the guy who was in the documentary and sold his house to buy Hex when it was, what was the price?
Right, it was like the top, like 40 cents or something.
Yeah, it was like 40 cents, right? I don't know how his marriage is going right now, but probably not so good. Now here's the other thing, right? Did he lump sum or did he dollar cost in? If he dollar costed, he might be okay. Right. If he lump summed, he's probably divorced.
Or on his way.
Yeah.
unless the wife like is taking the time to learn and educate
Mm-hmm.
herself and all that. But what are the odds of that? You know,
Yeah,
it's a tough one right there, man.
it's scary. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, like real bear markets bring out the worst in people. And I was telling one of my friends, I was saying, hey, you'll know that we're close when you start seeing like the suicide posts, right? Where someone's like, and it's sad to say, but people really do tie their entire value to their net worth. So if they lose it all, then they have nothing left to live for. And it's like, it sucks, but you see it. I see it every single bear market, the like people talking about, suicide and stuff. So it's like, if you are that kind of person, then when you're up a certain amount, you better take some profits to cash, and you better keep like an emergency stack, or maybe like even double what would be like prudent for most people to have, if you're you're that emotional, right? So because it does happen, guys, and crypto is extremely emotional because of the huge run-ups and rundowns. It's
Right.
a dopamine depleting asset class.
Enhancing and depleting, right?
Yep.
But you guys do those things on the side that give you joy when you wake up. You know what I mean? They're not
Yeah,
thinking about the price, because guys, really successful people are motivated all the time.
I tell you what, man, this is why I teach people about the long game. When your focus is strictly on the long game, you don't have time to worry about your net worth in the interim, because your net worth focus is long term. And that's what I would advise, because if you really are the type of person that lets their net worth determine your emotional, you know, levels of satisfaction, then you probably shouldn't even be playing this game. And if you are going
Mm-hmm.
to play this game, then you should be playing in a repetitive way, or in a set it and forget way. Because this is exactly what I mean by the long game. Because otherwise, you're really just wrecking yourself. Because you're doing internal damage that your body and soul literally cannot contend with, and it's going to make you go broke. Facts, not fiction.
Imagine like a scenario where a guy knew about Richard Hart, knew about Hex, didn't invest, right? And he's so depressed because he's like, man, I would have changed my life, yada yada yada. So he takes his own life, and then 2 months later, Pulse Chain's announced. The guy would have had like the thing is that we're in the birth of and we're really talking about infancy. And I think I talked to you about this, Wales, like
Mm,
another time on another stream, is like crypto is a baby right now,
yep.
is compared to traditional finance. So there's plenty of experiences. You might have missed one birthday, but the second birthday is coming up. Okay, like you're gonna have
You're
plenty
good.
more opportunities. You're good. You're really good. Like
Yeah,
you
but
can
you got to understand the
easily be a
long
millionaire.
game, though, and this is what
Yes.
me and Wendy's are trying to explain to people. Like, you really, really got to understand the long game. If you don't sit there and make sure you grasp this long game, you're gonna get left behind, and there is nothing anybody can do for you once the train has left the station.
It takes daily effort, Wales.
Yeah, it does. It does. It is
Mm-hmm.
not something that, look, it took me, by the time I found Hex, I already knew what the game plan was. So when I found Hex, it was a no brainer to me to lock it up for 15 years. That's why my duration is 14.6 years. And it's not 15.21 because I fucked up and didn't know enough at the beginning. That's literally the only reason. I have no problem, right? Buying Hex and staking it for the long term. Just like I
Mm-hmm.
got no problem keeping a little liquid bag for when that motherfucker does 100x. Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
The
And
fuck?
for the
I
guys
mean,
in the chat, the guy in the chat that was asking about DCA strategy, I'll say mine real quick. But it all is person to person. I mean, just make sure that when you go to bed at night, you did not spend so much that it hurts. If you did, you're in trouble. Okay. So what I do personally, since my bags are small, is I do 11 years plus. I want that multiplier, 4,000 days plus. So my personal, just personal, I do all my stakes 11 years plus, and then I keep like 25% liquid. That's just me. But I'm not saying that's optimal at all, but I'm also like wreck plow. So it's like whatever.
It's a process, bro.
But that's not a bad strategy, right? Like if you have to hedge your bets on the T-share, I get Hedron rewards. I was doing the math. I'm already making like multiple dollars on Hedron.
There you go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's
Like
how it
per
works.
day.
I would say
like per
I would
day.
say that like that truthfully you really can't beat a staking ladder. And I would say like if you're really feeling like the FOMO and you're like, oh my god, I'm late. The thing with Hex, like the beauty of Hex is that it's always gonna, like, the T-share rate is always gonna go up. So you never have to feel late because you're earlier than the next person, right? It's gonna keep doing that. It's just in the contract. It's gonna keep doing that. And so if you're staking long, you're doing good. And somebody that comes a few years later, that T-share rate's going to be way higher, and you're locked in at a good rate. But I would say that like the earliest you should, for most people, I say is like probably like 5 years, right? So like don't do less than 5 years, but make a staking ladder, and then after that, you could maybe start picking up some liquid and stuff like that. Because the thing is like you do want some liquid, because like imagine all the guys, and there are some people in our community that only did 15-year stakes, and these guys had nothing to sacrifice for Pulse and PulseX, right?
They
And
got
it's
wrecked.
like, yeah, imagine missing out on that. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you might be like a dolphin or a shark, but like a squid could have had some liquid, and then like Pulse and PulseX could do crazy numbers, and then they rotate in and they passed you up. They literally bought more Hex off the market because the Pulse and PulseX ran up so much. So you just don't know. And so that's why having that kind of strategy where you are well staked, but also have some liquid, just in case, or shorter stakes is good for that reason.
That's a funny comment.
Look at this guy. Excellent stream, bro. First time I saw you on stream was horrid. You're on point now, broski. Hey, how is your name YouTuber?
Yeah, that's funny, right?
How the fuck is your name YouTuber?
Yo,
How
is your
did you
camera
get that
frozen
name?
or is it just me?
No, mine?
Yeah, it's frozen on mine too.
Okay, it's not just me.
My camera's frozen.
Yeah.
Andy's gone.
Is it still frozen?
We'll let you know
It's
in a minute.
Mm,
I'm black now.
Whatever.
It's cool, bro.
Has it been frozen the whole time?
No.
Okay. My green screen fell over at some point, so that was a thing. So congrats on 500 subs. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Let's see what the like count is. 96 likes, guys. Let's get 4 more. And I love this conversation as far as getting back to the nitty gritty of T-shares and stuff is really what it's all about. Like, if you can't figure that stuff out, then go home, because literally, if you don't figure that out, you're done. That's it.
Mhm.
When you figure that out and it clicks, when it clicks in your mind, it doesn't matter if it takes 2 months, 2 days. It usually takes a couple months. When that clicks, you're just like, all right, I'm all in. I'm all in on like buying more T-shares and staking them.
Well, and the other thing is this, right? So because we didn't have Pulse Chain and PulseX before, it almost like didn't make sense to have like liquid Hex just sitting there. Now, now you're going to be at a point where you already have your liquid bag, so now it makes sense to just stake out your Hex. And I think that we're going to see people start staking way longer as time goes on, because they already have their liquid. It's like you don't need to worry about it. And the funny thing is, like, Pulse and PulseX is going to pull up the price of Hex over the long term anyway. So you might as well lock in that APY.
On top of the T-shares, baby.
Exactly. So lock those T-shares in, and you're gonna see the rise.
Shit, man.
It's crazy because like we talk about like PulseX and Pulse, and like people don't talk about like Hex as much, but it's like, man, Hex is still going to be that spot for the APY. Like you can't.
I think that's expected though, don't you? Don't you think that's expected? Maybe that's why.
I think it's only I think it's only expected because like we know, like I'm talking to like the number 5 shark, right? And the number 5 shark is telling me like he sacked like a ton for Pulse and PulseX, right? And he's telling me like, yeah, like and this guy has, we're talking like over 40,000 T-shares, right? And he's like, I want more. Right? So he's like when Pulse and PulseX do like crazy numbers, he's taking profits into Hex, right?
Yes,
so it's one of those things. Like, but if people don't have those conversations and don't know people like that, they might just think like, oh, shiny new coin, and for the record, like Pulse and PulseX may do outsized returns, but Hex is going to benefit from those returns.
100%.
Make no mistake, because there's going to be people that they do not like the token economics of Hex. They don't get it. They don't get the inflationary token. They didn't do a deep dive. They get deflationary. They get ETH fork. They get Uniswap fork. They get like, you know, the whole like pancake swap. They get the DSC, you know, total degen narrative. Like they get all that stuff. And so they buy Pulse and PulseX, but don't buy Hex. But guess what? The people who benefit the most of that are the whales. And who are the whales? Hex whales. And those guys will rotate into Hex for the APY. It's just how it is.
All the time.
And guess what? Like when these things are like when you see a couple years go by, right? So Hex is like 5 years old now. You know, Pulse and PulseX are a couple years old. You're gonna see people be like, "Wow, Richard is not a scammer," you know. And then maybe the narrative like completely flips on Hex, and everyone's like, "Wow, so, you know what? Hex actually is great." Yeah, just saying.
Hey man, look, time provides clarity to those that choose not to see. Because I gotta tell you, it cannot get more obvious in my opinion. It just can't. You know, when is it okay to just be ignorant and operate off of that basis and assume that your whole thought process of operation is what works because that's what you know? Sometimes your ass is just wrong because your ass is just wrong, regardless of what you think you fucking know. Some people don't want to accept that, but this is what Hex teaches people. Just like Hedron taught a lot of people that thought they were smart because they weren't Hex that. Because life is a filtering process, folks. A lot of you motherfuckers just ain't gonna make it, and that's okay. That's a lesson. Learn it.
Well, they'll print out money for them whales.
Hey man,
they got money for those guys.
We'll see.
1,500 every 2 years, something like that.
I don't want those food stamps, bro. I want some real money. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny. Where I used to live, people would brag about the housing that they got for free. Every time. You, oh my God, everyone was like, "I got free housing."
You know what's funny? People assume that's only in the hood, and no, that's everywhere.
Oh, it's everywhere.
People love free shit, and this is how I know Pulse Chain is gonna fucking rock it, baby. What? Man, y'all stupid. You know what I'm saying? Jim Rat, we know people love free shit. There is no more bullish game in town right now.
Oh, just imagine the marketing.
Our ecosystem is about to fucking skyrocket, bro. People don't get it.
It's too good to be true.
Man,
he's thought about these things thoroughly.
Yes.
And he's thought about everything thoroughly. The smartest man we all know. I mean, not know, but like this, the guy that we think is really smart in crypto, the smartest guy probably.
He's the smartest guy in crypto,
all the way through for months on end, and he has the financial resources to do it, and he's telling us everything as it updates. You can't get much better than that. I don't care if he's exactly telling. He can't tell you guys shit because you freak the fuck out every time he says anything. So why the fuck would he tell you anything? Because he gives you one little nest egg and you lose your shit and say he's a fucking furu. Like, you're like, it's just like, just let him do his thing. He's transparent. He's right there. He's not going anywhere. I mean, this is his whole life's work. How, at least appreciate him enough to use the system how it was designed.
Right. I mean, that's the thing.
A little bit, at least, like mostly.
Well, look,
I mean,
man.
if not, you're just gonna get chopped up, right? Like if you don't know, if you have a kid, right, and he's just playing next to a busy highway and nobody's watching him, what's gonna happen? He's gonna get smashed. He's gonna get smashed because he doesn't understand the system. So the system's gonna do what the system does, and it's gonna run motherfuckers over. Okay. So the best thing you could do is learn to look both ways before you cross.
I mean, look, I tell you guys, bro. I say this all the time. You gotta really think about what it is that you actually want, because only then are you going to be able to really respect what you have going on, right? Because otherwise, you're just doing what everybody else is doing. You're not really trying to generate alpha. You're just trying to have something to talk about with everybody else. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But you got to be real with yourself and understand that that's what you're doing. because otherwise you're just throwing money away. And look, if that's what you want to do with your money, that's fine. But don't say nobody ain't tell you.
Well, the great thing about that, I mean, it's not great, you know, but like there is going to be people that go and they just don't know what they're doing. They're getting chopped up by the system. They're getting chopped up by doing too many trades and everything like that. But if they're trading on PulseX, that's benefiting PulseX holders, right? So let the people, you know what, they want to risk it all on some degen dog Inu, you know, piece of crap coin. At least the the Richard Hart ecosystem is benefiting from it, as much as it can in that situation.
I mean, hey, look, bro, I agree with you 100%. It is what it is. You know, we can't stop people from doing what they want to do. So, all we can do is say, hey, here's the right platform to do it in, where you probably have the highest rate of success, because the odds of you running into a scam over here are very minimal relative to elsewhere where it's just scam city. So.
I mean, it might turn into scam city. I don't know, but I would say this, that like at least if they're getting like, so if they're in the Pulse chain ecosystem, right, and they get some PulseX, and maybe they're trading their Pulse for like degen shit, like, you know, who knows? At least if they're holding like the Pulse or the PulseX, they have a solid asset that they don't even know. Maybe they come over for degen stuff and they accidentally get a solid asset, right? Like, that's going to work for them.
I mean, I think that's going to happen for a lot of people. You know, I think that's just going to be something that happens for a lot of people by default. So, it's just nature of the beast, right? Because you don't know what you don't know until you come across it, right? And it's kind of like what I tell people all the time. Like, I already knew I needed Hex because I knew that Hex was the winning strategy. I knew. I just didn't know it existed until I found it. And once I found it and figured out that that's what I was looking for, it was a no-brainer for me to lock my shit up for that long.
That's a great point.
I think that's how like all of us were. You know, it was like me and Motley have talked about this many times, where it's like we were always looking for Hex, and when we saw it, we were like, "Oh, this is what we were looking for." You know?
Right. But you got to know that, right? Like a lot of people don't know. And when I found it, bro, I was like, "Oh, I was already looking for this. Great, thank you, sir." I was literally about to start trying to work on a coin myself, but I don't need to do shit. It's already done. Thank you, Richard. Like, we can all use his model to do whatever we want to do, because that's real crypto. And it's great. It's a great model to replicate. It's a great model to use. It works. I mean, this is why everybody else is trying to emulate it. Why you think ETH 2 is ready to drop? Because they know they don't got to go far to make it happen. It's already done. Go figure. So, is looking at the big. This is why I take pride in what I do and the work that I emit, right? Because it's looking at that big picture that always guarantees success and gives you the right mobility within the small time frames of what's going on, because that's prescient, right? Understanding that these people are under pressure, have no choice but to take action. Just like what we're seeing politically, right? It's all the same. There's no difference one way or the other. All these people are being motivated to take action in one way, shape, or form. And that's really just all it is. So, now we'll see if they really are going to come out with something or not. I'm not sold on it either way, but it'll be interesting to see. That's for sure.
Yep. There's gonna be a lot of building for sure.
Yep.
All right, guys. Whales Only is going on a stream at 2:30, I think.
3
o'clock. Marco the Hexican streaming right now. Go over and check his stream out. If anyone wants to drop that link, please feel free. Guys, Whales, Wendy's, absolute amazing alpha. Tangent wants to say hi. What up, Tangent? You guys
yo.
I'm gonna wrap it.
Shit, what's wrong with my camera? Fuck.
There it is.
Sick. Yeah, I thought I would just come in and just do a quick hi and bye.
Dude, we love you here.
I just wanted to cameo.
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up, Whales? What's up, Tendies? Whoa, I didn't know you guys were here.
Yes.
Sick.
Yeah. So Tangent, that the chart that I shared to you, that actually Whales made that chart. The the inflation one, the hex inflation one.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Very nice.
Wait, what hex inflation one? Can we pull it up, perhaps?
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
let
the-
Wales explain it because
I would
because
love
I know there was some.
The Australian
Yeah,
guys, they're tripping, right? They're wrong, like as in.
Oh, the Aussies are
Well,
tripping. I was telling everyone before
I was
the
telling
stream.
Wales, I was getting on a plane and I saw the tweet for like the inflation. I was like, and I saw you were there, so I was like, oh, maybe it's about that. And then I turned it on and then like saw that. So then I told Wales, I was like, hey, if you can hop on their stream, like, and explain it to them. But it got lost in translation, and I was like on the plane, like about to fly.
Because I told them that it was new to me and I just learned it recently, and then I got shut down. They were like, no, that's wrong. And then I was like, oh shit, man, because I never went and actually checked the math. So like I didn't have the confidence to say to them, like, I didn't want to be like, no, this is how it is based on me just being told by someone else.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. You gotta know, fuck that. Because then what if you're wrong? Not a good look. Yeah, not a good look.
Do you want to pull it up real quick, Wills?
Sure, man. Let me do that. I was doing some other shit. Give me a second.
It's my favorite chart because it changes like the perception of like what people think they know and what's actually going on.
Yep, correct. And that's my specialty. So let's do it one more again. Let's see here.
I do love a good chart nowadays, which I never thought would slip out of my mouth back in the day. But Jim Rat Crypto loves a good chart.
It's funny how life changes when your pocket depends on it, huh?
Yeah, I like it.
Ain't that some shit?
I used to be worried about other shit. I'm like, I should have been looking at these.
Yeah, that's right.
Congrats on the 100 likes, man.
Dude, thank you. We made it in 3 hours this time, which is like AT all-time high, I think.
Yeah, I saw
new PR.
I saw you had 10 before the stream even started. It was crazy.
Yeah, dude, because there's a little if you really dive into the YouTube rabbit hole, you can do a lot of things before the stream that get you like people look at your shit beforehand. So you just set it all up beforehand.
All right, guys, let's break this little chart down right quick. It's really simple. The magenta line, this pink one, is what the system is designed to do, right? This is the famous 3.69% that we all know and love. Now, what is actually going on is what you're seeing with respect to the yellow line here and this gray line here. Now, the yellow line is what the system is actually, the actual inflation that it's producing every day added up over time. So in the first year, we actually only produced 1.73% inflation, not 3.69. And this is why we did a 10,000 fucking X with no effort. All these coins were getting sent out into the futures, not floating around in people's wallets, being accounted for in the supply, right? And this is why the price can fly high, even though there's billions and trillions of coins or whatever people want to say, right? Because they don't actually understand how markets work. And it's as just we're seeing here. Even though the inflation is dictated to be 3.69, the system is only printing 1.73% inflation, meaning it is deferring 53% of the annual inflation in its first year.
So if you add up the inflation that goes to locked stakes as well, and you add them together, then it is 3.69. Like the total system inflation is 3.69, but you're just saying some of those coins don't hit circulation.
That's right.
Okay,
Because
so then some of these Australian guys had it like sort of correct that they kind of worked out that might be the difference of what I was talking about and what they were talking about in terms of, I think it was Jexa that talked about.
Because think about it like this: inflation is like also what you feel, right? Like inflation has a, like when you go to the gas pump and it goes up, right? Aside from obviously like all the trade stuff, when inflation goes up or like house prices go up, right? Like that is felt. So if the inflation is deferred, it's not felt. So the real number that that should be referred is the one that's actually felt now, right? Like it's now. Later on, we'll talk about like next year. We talk about next year. The year after that, we talk about the year after that. But as long as people keep staking and pushing it out further, because remember, like in the first year of Hex, it was like 2 years, and then 4 years, and then 5 years. Now it's like 6 years. So the trend is keep pushing it further and further and further back.
So do you guys think there should be that we should have two different terms here? Like that we should have, you know, like liquid inflation and something else so that people don't get confused?
No. It's straightforward. It's cumulative inflation is what the system
sorry. You've already done it. You've already actually named it.
Just understand, right? Cumulative inflation is what the system is actually printing, meaning stakes are being ended, shit's coming out and not being restaked, right? That's clean cut. Deferred inflation is just like you said. Coins are being minted, but they're getting restaked out further. They're not actually hitting the market. And that's what this is accounting for. Because the difference, this gray line is literally just a delta between the 369 and what the system is actually producing. So
those lines could cross over.
Oh, they do. But that's only if you're keeping a constant time series. Our objective here is to track them year on year.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Because it's annual. We only care about the annual inflation print. Remember that. Because that is what dictates the cycle of Hex's price action.
Yep.
That is the key.
This is pretty incredible stuff, Whales. How did you learn how to do stuff like this?
Just math, man.
Well, like, did you make this chart, or are you just looking at this chart?
No, I made it.
Yeah, like, how did you learn how to? Is it just math? Like, you just plug in numbers and it comes out?
Yeah, it's just okay. So it's like a little math, a little data science, knowing how to play with data structuring, understanding data integrity, understanding and cleaning data, and sparsing data, and just trying to. It's really data science is what they call it nowadays. But you know, back in my day, it didn't have a title. You know, it's just what we did with fucking data. If you were a math guy, so it's just what I grew up doing. Like I've spent my whole adult life doing this. So this is how I look at shit. You know, I don't look at shit everybody else. I don't want to read nothing. I want to see what the fuck is actually going on by inputs and outputs. I don't want to hear nobody's story. Like, it's cute, but I don't give a fuck what's really going on. And this is what tells us what's really going on.
It's fucking baller.
Pretty much. Yep. This is timeless value. This is shit that no paid group is gonna get you. I mean, this is free, and motherfuckers still don't understand that this is infinite dollars right here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's like I was saying when I was talking to Tangent yesterday. I was saying like Bitcoiners and even Hexicans don't realize that the actual inflation of Hex right now is less than Bitcoins. And you know, it's like it's just comical because they say, like Eric Wall says, you know, we're inflating shitcoin and that's why we're doomed. But yet our current inflation is less than Bitcoin's. Like, so what does that mean?
It means he's a fucktard. That's literally all that means.
Exactly.
Fucking clowns, bro. I'm amazed that dude even has a job. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I laugh at people that engage that dude in our community. Like, you don't respect yourself. That's all that means. It's crazy. Like, wow. The fuck. Like a person that can't stare a gift horse in the mouth. Incredible.
Guys, this has been extremely educational, absolutely dopaminergic. And
what?
Yeah, dopaminergic.
Thank you for letting me come on, do a cameo, and get educated. Bang, the triple.
Bang, that's called value, guys. If you don't think I'm bringing value, then you can S on my D. You hear that? Anyway, guys, Jim Rat Crypto, Whales Only, WENDys4TENDIES, Hex Tangent. These are guys you should be following. They do not mess around when they're talking. It's usually something that matters unless they're laughing. All right, guys.
Pretty much.
Have a great day. I'll be on tomorrow at 11 a.m. I think I'm going to Miami this weekend.
Nice.
And
I'm in Miami, bitch.
Life is a fucking box of chocolates, guys. It seriously is. Just keep working hard every single day. Doesn't matter what you're doing.
That's it.
Peace.
Peace.